Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle said he would kill any legislation benefiting Delta. Governor Nathan Deal supported the jet fuel tax break, but said he would sign the bill without it, as he could not veto a measure that also amounted to a sweeping tax cut for residents. Republican candidate for governor Senator Michael Williams commended his fellow lawmakers as they stood strong against pressure to allow the jet fuel tax break to pass. Democrats, including Senator Steve Hinson, argued cutting the tax break would make it difficult for Delta to compete with other airlines and possibly hinder the state's ability to attract other businesses. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a former New York City police official on Thursday pled guilty to misusing police department resources for the benefit of a businessman charged in a wide-ranging corruption case. Former Deputy Chief Michael Harrington entered his plea before U.S. District Judge Gregory Woods in Manhattan, admitting that he used his position to bestow favors on Jeremy Reichberg. Prosecutors have said the favors included giving Reichberg police escorts and allowing Reichberg and his associates to use a police helicopter and a police boat for private purposes. Harrington was originally charged in June 2016 with bribery, but prosecutors have agreed to drop that charge. Michael Weinstein, Harrington's lawyer, said Mr. Harrington is a highly decorated police officer who put his life on the line for 30 years while serving the citizens of New York City. Weinstein said the charge to which Harrington pled guilty was a horse of a different color from the original, more serious case. Under the terms of the plea, Harrington and prosecutors have agreed that federal guidelines call for a sentence of up to 6 months in prison. Reichberg is expected to face trial on federal bribery charges in April, along with another former police officer, former Deputy Inspector James Grant. The charges against Harrington, Reichberg, and Grant came out of a widespread federal corruption probe that also ensnared Norman Seabrook, former head of the union representing the city's corrections officers. A judge declared a mistrial in Seabrook's trial last year after the jury failed to reach a verdict, and prosecutors have said they expect to try Seabrook again. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
George W. Bush may be retired from politics, but he's keeping busy with his new hobby of painting. Today, the Picasso-in-chief tweeted his latest picture, a turkey sandwich and glass of lemonade in front of the ghost of the Iraqi child that follows him everywhere. Rebecca Mira has been following the flourishing art career. He's pretty good, Rebecca.
Yeah, well, Rachel, Bush doesn't claim to be a great artist, but as he put it, not bad for an old man, huh?
Not bad at all. He says he likes painting simple things he sees in everyday life, like his dogs, that dead Iraqi child. You can see that Bush's art is improving over time if you take a look. At first, he could barely draw the Iraqi child's transparent hands, but now they look much more realistic.
Much more. You know, I'm not surprised that he's getting better. Bush practices constantly.
And Laura Bush says he's more focused than ever, locks himself away for hours at a time and won't talk to anyone while he's painting.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if history will look back on Bush as a politician or the next Rembrandt. Up next, a study found that drinking red wine once a day can help the body get hammered.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us right here. Our toll-free number for you to take control of the airwaves is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, and you can Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, there's our Discord on-air call-in line, which you can join the Discord over at discord.lrn.fm, and then just hop into the call-in line room there, and we will get you on the air at a moment's notice. So you can join us and talk about what you want on the way here tonight. Disturbing new law apparently is in the works. Chris Wade is here from thinkpenguin.com. He's going to tell us about something that may be restricting freedom of speech beyond its original intentions. Not that any kind of restriction on freedom of speech is okay. We'll tell you about that coming up here. It's Ian, Chris, and Darryl in the studio here tonight. But Darryl, we're going to start with you. Earlier today, you shared with me in the studio some fresh quotes from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And these aren't on this isn't, I mean, it's 1 week you get a bunch of ridiculous quotes from this guy. Earlier this week, he had said famously that he would have run into the active shooter situation even if he didn't have a weapon.
He said he would like to think that he would.
Okay.
I'd like to think that I would go in there. He didn't actually say, I would go in there.
I see what you're saying, but the intention is to make people think that he's more brave than the police
Correct.
officers.
And then somebody posted a photo of him walking up a flight of stairs, presumably to Air Force One. He's got an umbrella. His son is standing behind him, and it says he won't take a raindrop for his son, but he'll take a bullet for yours.
Right. So, I mean, that was pretty ridiculous earlier this week, but the madness continues.
And then earlier today, when a country, USA, is losing many billions of dollars on trade with virtually every country it does business with.
Wait.
Trade wars are good and easy to win. Example, when we're down $100 billion and a certain country and they get cute, don't trade anymore, we win big. It's easy.
There's a lot of stupid within that.
And here's the other one.
Or whatever it is. Is this Twitter?
Yes.
This is a Twitter post?
When a country taxes our products coming in at, say, 50%, and we tax the same products coming into our country at 0, not fair or smart, we will soon be starting reciprocal taxes so that we will charge the same thing as they charge us. 800 billion trade deficit, have no choice. So this trade deficit thing.
This is such hogwash.
Earlier today, I had a $12 trade deficit with Target. Meaning I went to Target and I bought $12 worth of stuff. Target has never purchased anything for me. I have a trade deficit with Target.
Oh no, Darryl. Whatever shall you do?
Import duties? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so you're
That's
talking
the thing,
about this.
that people don't understand what trade deficit actually means. It sounds really bad and scary.
Yeah, well, it's something that they can use, like you say, to make a situation sound bad, and then they can implement new taxes, which is what he's talking about doing, to supposedly rectify that situation, even though, as you point out, your existence of a trade deficit doesn't matter, because on the other side of you spending $12 at Target, you got things from Target.
Yes.
So Target gave you a whatever it was that you were buying for
$2
$12.
boxes of Cliff Bars and a Bai Cocoa-infused antioxidant drink.
So you're not down $12. You're also up the thing that you wanted to buy.
Right, but in accordance with this trade deficit thing, I have a $12 trade deficit today with Target.
Right, because the people who believe in this trade deficit sort of mythology, in my opinion, believe that in order to not have a trade deficit, each partner needs to do the same amount of business with each other in cash.
Right. It's just you have to buy the same number of products that I buy from you.
It's the stupidest thing. I mean, Chris, you run thinkpenguin.com, which sells products all day, every day to around the world. It sells security-oriented, privacy-oriented computer products like desktops and laptop computers. If you go by this trade deficit nonsense, you have a trade deficit with absolutely everybody you've ever, who's bought from you. Every person you've supplied product with, you have a trade deficit with because they spent money with you.
No, he has a trade surplus because he has their money.
Oh, okay.
But yet he also winds up having to buy products from other people to be able to.
Yeah, but it's different people that we have a surplus with in other countries or whatever that we have a.
Right.
Yeah,
so you've got trade surplus with some people, trade deficits with others, but at the end of the day, you wind up with a net profit.
As an example, China's one way. Everything comes from China. Nothing goes back to China. But at the same time, nothing comes from the UK. A lot goes to the UK.
Yeah. And keeping track of all this is pointless. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters are, as you pointed out, Darryl, are you making a profit? Are you able to purchase from one person, sell to another person at a higher price?
Not only are you making a profit, but are you able to buy things affordably? Mm-hmm. And that's where his thing of reciprocal tariffs comes in. And, your beer might get more expensive thanks Donald Trump.
A whole lot of things might get more expensive. But what if the reciprocal tariffs actually encourage lower tariffs elsewhere. Is that a possible effect of this? I mean, I'm just trying to argue devil's advocate here.
Because, Ian, if I impose a tariff on everything that comes from across the street, it doesn't mean that the people across the street are paying more. It means that I spend more because there's a tariff. That's how tariffs.
Where are the tariffs going now? They're going into somebody else's
They go to the U.S. government.
Right. So somebody's profiting. Somebody's benefiting from this.
Yes,
the government.
Yeah.
Assuming that people actually keep buying the product because it increases the price of the product. So this is basically
just it's like a hidden tax.
Yes,
it's a hidden tax.
That's
so instead of that computer that you sell for $500, we're putting a tariff on electronics, 10%. It now winds up costing somebody $550, but you're still only seeing $500.
Yeah, well, it's going to go up more than 10% because ultimately you have a higher investment cost at that point and so on, and that you have to make up for. So it's probably like 20% it goes up.
But I thought when he said the reciprocal tariffs, it sounded to me like that meant that if another country is charging X, that's what the United States government will also charge on the same product.
Are you sure that wasn't like Europe? Because Europe was saying something to that effect, I think.
Well, if you could read his statement about the reciprocal
this is
tariffs.
the thing. When a country taxes our products coming in at, say, 50%, and we tax the same products coming into our country at 0, not fair or smart. We will soon be starting reciprocal taxes so that we will charge the same thing as they charge us. And then he ties this into the trade deficit. Tariffs and trade deficit are two totally different. I went to the bathroom and there weren't enough paper towels in the kitchen. It's not related.
Yeah.
It's not related in the least. And increasing tariffs does nothing to affect the trade deficit. That just means that somebody's not buying as much crap as you're buying from them.
Right, and people are going to, if you increase tariffs enough, they're going to stop doing business internationally, which means that the product costs will start going up because they'll be sourcing them locally, or who knows.
They'll find alternative. Sugar.
Yeah.
There are tariffs on sugar and then all kinds of things. That's why most of the soda companies wind up using high fructose corn syrup.
Which
now
is
there are other
worse.
reasons. There are other reasons that they do that because of all the subsidies for corn.
Yeah.
But that's just one of the things that the tariffs have wound up affecting is
supply.
Real soda.
Yeah, absolutely true. And some people say the sugar soda is better, that it tastes better, that
it's easier to break down in the digestive stuff, and
corn syrup's supposedly bad or something like that. I mean, it depends who you believe, but regardless, people don't get to choose. They are prohibited from having a choice, or they can pay more if they want to choose, right? Like you can pay for the sugared soda, but you're paying for an import in a lot of cases.
Good luck finding it on the shelf of the local grocer.
Access to it's a problem.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Free Talk Live.
But we have the opportunity. No one has the opportunity.
Look, just hold on. Just because the slaves can pick the head slave doesn't mean that the slaves are free.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Look, if people actually got up and voted for things, there might actually be some change.
People do actually get up and vote for things, and change always results in the same crap.
What are you going to do that's different by voting?
Two choices between crap sandwiches, man.
You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth. On the one hand, you're saying, oh, hardly anybody votes, so you can barely say this is a person of right. And then I said, well, gosh, if people get up and vote, maybe things will change.
Hold on, that was only one thing he brought up.
Here's what I
That
mean.
when people do vote, it doesn't make any difference because of a number of reasons.
People never vote in numbers that could actually reflect what
Why should I vote for any of these thugs? They're killers. They're murderers.
Free Talk Live. 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial right here, toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. We got more to say on the supposed trade deficits, which Trump is using to push new taxes. Hey, there's your small government guy, libertarians.
No, it's not a tax, it's a tariff. That's a different word.
Thing. Yeah.
It's a different word, so therefore not...
More letters, same meaning.
Increases prices.
We've got the best words. We've got bigger words.
Tariffs are just taxes that are posted at the time of import or export of an item into a political geographic boundary. With you in the studio tonight, though, it's Ian,
Chris,
and Darryl.
Also, I want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. It is something that can traverse boundaries without being taxed. Unless you tell the government about the fact that you've got Bitcoin. If you don't tell them, then they don't have to know because it's none of their damn business. You can go and learn about Bitcoin over at Bitcoin.com. It is something that you really ought to take some time out, maybe take 5-10 minutes, and just go and learn the basics over at Bitcoin.com and find out what cryptocurrency is all about. If you're not new to Bitcoin, though, and you want to get the latest news headlines, they've got them too over at news.bitcoin.com, and they're updated every single day. That's news.bitcoin.com. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We've got Dave. He's on the line. I believe this is Dave Ridley with us here on Skype. Hello, Dave.
Ridley, he's on the scene. He's meaner than nice, but nicer than mean.
What's going on, Dave?
Oh, you didn't think I just called to sing you that song, did you?
No, not at all. That's why I asked you what's up.
Now,
did you call to sing us a song?
He just did.
No. But have you guys heard? I guess there is a new Bitcoin thing going on the seacoast again.
No, tell me about that.
New Hampshire seacoast. I don't know if it's just a new term or really a new institution, but it's called the Bitcoin Institute of Technology.
Huh. No, I've not heard about this.
I did hear about this. It's something that Derek and Steven from the Free State Bitcoin Shop are behind.
What are they doing?
Well, Steven announced there was going to be some sort of a lecture. It's probably already happened. I think I heard the announcement. Well, it must have gone over about 4 days ago. But he was going to give a lecture on really actually what I thought were some pretty useful things, as to how to convert Bitcoin into gift cards and use it on Amazon and stuff like that. And there's actually some of that stuff is pretty complicated, but it's also really useful for the average person.
Excellent. Do you know, in what format are they giving these lectures? Is it like at the front of a, room with a bunch of chairs in it somewhere, some sort of hall, or are they just kind of having small groups get together at their store? Because you're referring to the Bitcoin Shop, which is, or the founders of the Bitcoin Shop, the Free State Bitcoin Shop, which is a storefront, very small, cute little location in downtown Portsmouth, where anybody can just walk in and buy things. With cryptocurrency, you cannot spend dollars at the crypto shop or the Bitcoin shop. So I'm wondering where they're actually holding these seminars.
Actually, you can use dollars to buy cryptocurrency in the machine that they have.
You can't actually buy the items in the store with dollars. So yeah, I'm just wondering if you happen to know, what format are these happening?
I think they listed an address. It was on State Street. I think it was 110 State Street.
Huh. Okay. That's not their address.
Is that the same as the Bitcoin Shop?
Nope. No, I think they're at 56. So yeah, it sounds like a good thing. I know that we've had people asking about that out here. Like, hey, can you guys have, because we've got a regular meetup that happens here like once every 8 days, and people come from Massachusetts and Vermont because there aren't meetups there, I guess, and they come and they ask questions about cryptocurrency when they come talk to us. And so we've had a couple people say, hey, it would be great if you did kind of an educational seminar, more than, because we just sort of have unstructured, free-flowing, no kind of agenda meetings. It's just people kind of hanging out at a social gathering, but all the talk.
It's a good place to get information, though.
Yeah, if you're a newbie, you can ask questions and you'll get a lot of opinions, right? And so the question was, well, can you guys do something with like more of a seminar where we come to a room and sit and listen? And I'm like, it's a great idea. I'm not going to spend my time putting it together, but if somebody wants to do that, I think that would be
You're thinking
fantastic.
of a specific person even, aren't you?
No, not at all.
Oh, no, because I'm thinking of somebody who asked about that recently. Somebody who came to one of our meetups.
Oh, I thought you meant as far as who could actually put it on. I would say Chris Reitman would be good at doing it, which would be our Thursday night co-host. I know he's worked on a presentation for business, like to kind of explain Bitcoin to a business person.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's reworked that yet to an individual thing, but I think that that's valuable. I think some people want that. I prefer the more kind of decentralized, unstructured meetings, because then you can get different opinions. If you just put one person on stage, then they are the expert, and they might be wrong. I mean, we've had people get into certain things in crypto that maybe weren't the best ideas.
Most
right?
of the stuff I read online is wrong from these economic people.
Yeah, I'm not saying Stephen is necessarily going to give bad advice or anything like that. It's just to me, I'm not going to spend my time putting those things together. I think it's a great idea though, because there are people who want that. So thanks for sharing that, Dave. Anything else?
This may be maybe this is connected to the I think when Bruce Fenton moved to New Hampshire, he's sort of a Bitcoin whale.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like there was some talk of like different things sort of springing up. I don't know. I don't remember the details, and I don't know where exactly. But it would be in the Portsmouth area, and this is in the Portsmouth area, so maybe this is part of that.
Love it. One of the things that's true about New Hampshire is it really is like the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency mecca. I mean, there's more cryptocurrency stuff I think happening here than in a lot of places.
Yes.
So glad to hear
anywhere else,
and definitely more per capita.
Absolutely. Dave, thank you for the call tonight. That's Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. He's always reporting over on his YouTube channel. He's been here longer than we have here in New Hampshire, and we've been here doing this show a long time. So kudos to Dave for uncovering cool new things that we don't necessarily hear about. Even though
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, even though Derek and Steven are friends, and we communicate relatively often, even though they're halfway across the state or all the way across the state, it is good to catch wind of those things.
Yes,
and these are things that can be duplicated. By the way, I mean it's not impossible to put together a cryptocurrency meetup where you are. It's going to be harder because you probably don't have as many activists as we do here. We've got libertarian activists who've been converging here in New Hampshire for more than a decade as part of the New Hampshire freedom migration. So here it's relatively simple to say, hey guys, let's go have a meeting. And then, a half a dozen people will show up to it. Right? So it's not hard for us to do that. We have more people coming to meetings here than probably people have in a lot of bigger cities. I'm not going to say every bigger city.
Yeah,
but
I was disappointed about MIT in that area, in Cambridge.
MIT in
that area, and how little it's being used. And,
give me an example. What do you mean?
Like, for example, I went into the MIT bookstore, for example, and they didn't even know how to use Bitcoin. They didn't even know how to accept it.
Wait, they're supposedly accepting it?
Yeah, they supposedly accept it. But
wasn't there the thing a couple of years ago where all incoming freshmen wound up getting a certain amount of Bitcoin?
Or
I don't
some
know.
sort of crypto,
but apparently nobody's using it.
They also had a crypto vending machine at MIT, or a Bitcoin vending machine, and that got shut down.
MIT should be like the base. That should be the place, right? It's a technical. They are supposed to be the leading technical innovators and stuff, and all sorts of technical people. It's not like there's a barrier here. I mean, it's easy. It should be easy for these people to use it. If they're not using it.
If any college bookstore should take Bitcoin, it should be the MIT bookstore. And you're saying they had announced that they do, but their staff.
They advertised it even.
Wow. It's embarrassing. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Let's talk more on trade. Coming up, Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edginton Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio here. Take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, and the Skype username here is lrn.fm. Plus, join us on the Discord on-air call-in line. There's a room that you can join there over at discord.lrn.fm. And joining you here tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
All right, so we're going to get back into Trump's comments about trade, his ignorant comments about trade, his pro-tax comments about trade. I know there's a lot of people out there that were deluding themselves into believing that Donald Trump was about smaller government, was about, and somehow, like, the most libertarian candidate to vote for.
You know what just boggles my mind? He's supposed to be, like, pro-business, right? Like, that's his whole theme. And yet, I can only see this as anti-business, right?
Oh, it's very anti-business.
You're increasing the costs of doing business.
If you're a business who sources products from outside of the United States, it is very anti that business.
It's protectionism is
Straight
what
up.
it is.
That's what
but
it is.
Even if it's even if you're doing business in the United States, if you're becoming you end up becoming less efficient, right? Like it promotes less efficiency, which means you're going to have a harder time competing on the open market.
Well,
right?
ultimately, it's going to increase your costs because some of your suppliers are probably doing business with people outside of the United States.
So now you're going to reduce the amount of trade that you do overseas, which is going to reduce your opportunities.
Sure.
Which is protectionism.
That's what they want.
Yeah,
they want
but
to protect.
The whole protectionism thing is not necessarily a good thing. It's a bad thing.
No,
it limits
only
growth.
It only protects individuals in specific politically connected classes from competition. That's the only thing it protects. It doesn't protect consumers. It doesn't
I'm
protect.
not even sure if it does that. I mean,
it does hurt them in the long run. I agree with what you're saying, meaning that if somebody, even if they are a U.S.-based manufacturer or something like that, even if they do have an increased amount of business that they get because of protectionist laws and these tariffs that he's talking
in the U.S.,
about.
but the U.S. market's much smaller than the world market.
Right. But even if they are getting an increased amount of competition, they're still being hit because, again, they're doing business with other people who are doing business in other countries, and so those costs go up. And so there's the seen and then there's the unseen. They'll see the numbers go up as far as maybe they're going to get more business because now the customers have to buy from them instead of they could have bought from international people. Now they're not anymore because of tariffs. So they might see their sales increase. But on the other end, the one that it's harder to calculate, if their prices go up at 50% of their suppliers by a little bit because all those suppliers are now having to pay more to buy things internationally, it's hard to really say, oh, that came from tariffs. They won't be able to know for sure why their suppliers' costs have gone up. They could just ascribe it to inflation or increased costs of doing business.
Right, and then the customer, they wind up seeing either the price goes up or the packaging gets smaller, but the price stays the same, but
The old retail trick.
Right.
Yeah,
so
there's all sorts of retail tricks you use in order to get people to keep buying.
Let's talk about that, specifically how it's going to affect beer, because Americans love beer.
This is now, are we talking about the reciprocal tariff that Trump was talking about?
Article from Yahoo Finance.
Okay.
President Donald Trump says he plans to impose a 25% tariff on imported steel and a 10% tariff on imported aluminum. The market sent stock market tumbling more than 500 points on Thursday. So this article,
see, even the stock market agrees
something
it's bad
that
for
happened
business.
before Donald Trump's idiotic Twitter stream of consciousness thing earlier. Don't want to call it stream of thought because there wasn't really one.
Did I hear that? I'm sorry, just as an aside. Speaking of Trump on Twitter, did I hear that Twitter doubled their character count to like 300 characters?
It's 280.
It's 280. So they
doubled from
they
140 to 280.
Do you think they did that just to give Trump a longer rope?
I heard a theory that was it, but of course I have no clue. I wasn't in the board meeting decision, and they never publicly
it's
said
a great
why.
thought. I mean, it's hilarious.
It's twice as much room for him to be stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
The proposal, again, the 25% tariff on steel, 10% on aluminum, has left beer and beverage companies wary. More than half of the beer produced every year in the United States is packed in aluminum cans or aluminum bottles. The beverage and brewery industry has been relying on imported steel to make 96 billion cans a year.
Cheaper. It's cheaper.
Oh, it's a lot
That's
cheaper.
why they're relying on it. If it were cheaper to buy down the street, they'd buy it down the street because then they wouldn't have to ship it. But it's cheaper to get the imported steel, even with the costs of shipping it across an ocean.
Cans account for 9.76% of the brewer's overall production cost of beer, according to a report from John Dunham and Associates. The report here says the higher cost of cans resulting from a potential tariff on aluminum would be passed through to consumers as part of the manufacturer's price of beverages.
That's what happens with all increased costs. They're passed on to the consumers.
We're talking about like
which
beer
hurts
cans,
people.
but it comes off as a trivial amount, but like not everything ends up being a trivial amount. There's stuff that uses a lot more tin or steel. Like maybe cars or something of that nature, which is actually going to have a more substantial impact on their costs.
But people aren't generally buying a car every week. They're buying a case of beer a week.
But per can, it's trivial, but you add up the person buying a case times 100 million people buying a case of beer.
It's not trivial. You're right, absolutely.
You're talking about a lot of money, and that's money out of those people's pockets that they can't spend on something more productive. So it actually hurts, even though it seems like a little bit. It hurts the economy big time because
it's like 1,000 cuts or whatever.
Yeah.
It's one cut's not going to kill you, but maybe not even 10 or 20, but 1,000 of them.
It's missed opportunities because the money that if you would have been able to save that money, you could have maybe spent it to pay the rent or spent it to pay the power bill or spent it to pay, buy a gift for your loved one on their birthday or something like that. But over time, these little nicks like you're talking about are knocking out, 5 cents here, $1 there, or $2 there. And then before you know it, you don't have any money left in the bank. Before you know it, it's harder to make the bill payments at the end of the month. I mean, it's just whittling away the spending power of the people in the United States, and that hurts. And it hurts the poor the most. Because it's one thing to be a rich person who can afford a boat or something like that. You don't care about dropping an extra $10 on some fancy beer or something like that.
You don't even pay attention to what the price of beer is.
Right. Or the price of gas or anything like that. But for a poor person to have an extra, again, if they're buying a case of beer every single week, to hit them with an extra 50 cents every single week, that's going to add up. It does. I mean, it's something.
And let's talk about how much that adds up. But first, the article says that major beverage and beer companies, including Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Heineken, and Molson Coors Brewing, have written to Trump urging him to restrain from imposing the tariffs. According to the Aluminum Association, a trade group representing aluminum producers, 84% of the primary aluminum used in canned stock is imported. A 10% tariff on aluminum will create a $347.7 million tax on the beverage industry.
What was that number again?
$347.7 million.
Per year?
Presumably per year, yes. They say the U.S. has been running an aluminum deficit for years, and domestic producers may not be able to fill the gap as soon as Trump hopes. Data from the U.S. Geological Survey's National Minerals shows aluminum imports increased about 17% from 2016, while production has decreased for the fifth consecutive year to the lowest level since 1951, mainly because of rising labor, energy, and global competition.
Well, it's going to reduce even more.
I have to wonder if it's even cost effective to try and bring industry back. Like, there's other factors besides competition that may prevent your country from doing business, like labor costs.
If you want to bring something back, if you want to bring business back, if you want to make America great again, then the only way to do that is to get the government out of the way, to reduce costs of doing business, to lower taxes, to abolish taxes entirely. If Trump wanted to do something for the economy, for the people in the United States, he would strike all tariffs tomorrow. But that's not what this is about. This is about getting Trump reelected. This is about Trump pandering to the America First crowd, right? Like, this is him being able to say, look, I put in tariffs. I am protecting America. And ultimately, all you're doing is strangling the businesses here. And it's tragic. Strangling the consumers as well from being able to choose and being able to save. 855-450, free like freedom. Join us.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about. nhliberty.org.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you a few from Amazon.com. By Mel. Great product. My husband and father-in-law use it regularly. Both my husband and father-in-law have had significant change in their blood pressure and overall health. By Amazon customer. It works for me. Returned to buy the tincture and the capsules as they were on sale during February. Unlike some other products, this one worked for blood pressure and occasional irregular heartbeat. Extendivite produced noticeable results after just 2 bottles, a 4-month supply. I take Extendivite 3 times a day, every day. I think this supplement has helped with my increased fitness regime and to lower my blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll-free and join us right here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Still to come here tonight. Chris Wade here from Think Penguin is joining us. Dean and Darryl also in the studio tonight. Chris, you're going to be telling us about some disturbing possible new laws that might be affecting website freedom of speech. We'll get into that coming up here. But also we've been talking about tariffs and the destructive forces that these tariffs are to the economy. And people like Donald Trump want you to believe the opposite. They want you to believe that somehow tariffs are a good thing for the United States. And tariffs aren't a good thing anywhere they are in the world. They should be abolished worldwide.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because politicians benefit from having these things. They benefit because it gets revenue into the state, and they benefit because they get to pander to audiences, making it look like they've done something for the people that they lord over. So if you want to comment, join us here at 855-450-FREE like freedom, or hop on into the on-air call-in line room on our Discord chat at discord.lrn.fm. And check out Zencash over at zencash.com. Zencash is a newer cryptocurrency. It started back in 2017, so hasn't been around for very long, but they've taken some of the best technology like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and they've put Zencash out there into hopefully your hands at some point once you learn about it over at zencash.com. It is something that was actually created by voluntarists, people who care about liberty, people who understand economics, and they want to have a cryptocurrency that's dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. It's also one of the strongest cryptos out there with over 7,000 secure nodes, meaning Zencash is one of the strongest blockchains, meaning they've got a lot of people backing it, and their network is very strong. There are also now approximately 50 team members who are behind Zencash, which it started with only 5. So they've really picked up a lot of interest from the cryptocurrency community. And in fact, there are even wallets available in multiple languages. And Zencash is available on several exchanges, I think as many as 6 or 7. You can learn more about it and get started over at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Darryl, do you have more that you wanted to share from this story with Donald Trump talking about his plan to create reciprocal tariffs, meaning that if there's a tariff on a thing, then they'll go ahead and have one in the U.S. government level too?
Well, that was a tweet that he posted earlier today. This article is about a different proposal to put a 10% tariff on imported aluminum, 25% tariff on imported steel, specifically how the aluminum tariff would wind up impacting beer and other beverages. Again, a $347.7 million tax on the American beverage industry if this tariff goes through. And there's a quote from Jim McGreevey,
and on the people, by the way, the people who drink the beer.
Yes,
that's just what I was thinking. It's it's not going to be a tax on the beverage industry. It's going to be a tax on you because it's going to get passed on.
Right, it's going to be a tax on people buying this through the beverage. So what they mean is the customers of the beverage industry.
Right. In the same way that we recently saw some areas in the country institute what they call a sugar tax. So Coca-Cola in some markets has gone up dramatically in price. All sugared beverages have gone up dramatically.
We covered Philadelphia fairly in depth on a Thursday one night because their tax was very, very ridiculous. So you know those big bags of syrup that wind up, 5 gallons of blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Oh, that produces X amount of product on the end, so we're taxing you on that.
On X. Wow.
And then it wound up basically doubling the cost of that thing. And the city of Philadelphia said, yeah, beverage company, you're not allowed to actually pass on the cost. Because it's not a retail tax, it's something else.
They don't understand how it works.
Right,
all.
they
So
did
now
not
it's just
understand.
not available in Philadelphia, right? You have to go outside the city to get it.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
if you're
know
not allowed
whatever.
to pass on the costs and your costs double, you're not going to be able to sell a product.
Well, that's what the mayor said. I don't know if they've actually enforced it that way.
I see.
But the mayor was like, wait, you're price gouging by passing this thing on.
Dude, they don't do it on the drinks. They're just going to pass it on the food part of it. Ultimately, you have to pay the bills at the end of the day.
Well,
No. The supplier.
Yeah.
I have this thing that my wholesale cost to you, Mr. Businessman, is $60.
I see.
The tax is $58.
So, yeah, okay. So then they're going to have to stop selling to people in Philadelphia or whatever.
Right. So the mayor had said you're not allowed to pass on the cost. I don't know if it was actually implemented that way or if somebody was like, yeah, Mr. Mayor guy, you can't tell them not to pass on the cost.
Right. Yeah.
And then there have been signs in other places. I think Seattle
That's
was
what I was
one
gonna
of
talk
them
about was the signage.
where they said, due to this tax, these prices have increased.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the point I was kind of driving at was businesses have responded to the soda tax or the sugary drink tax with information to customers because customers just came in one week and all of a sudden the 2-liter bottle of soda had gone up an extra $1. It literally had doubled in price. And as you might imagine, people are going to get upset about that. Like, what is going on here? Where did these extra costs come from? I mean, we're all used to prices going up over time, but not a 200% increase overnight. Right. That's going to get people, to notice. And so these companies, convenience stores and Walmarts and Sam's Clubs and, people that are selling sodas and other sugary drinks, because again, any kind of sugared coffee beverage, Gatorade, anything that's got sugar in it, the price went up dramatically. It was like by more than a cent per ounce in some places.
Some places it was 1.5 or 2 cents.
Yeah, which is a huge increase. And so they're explaining it to people like, hey, this isn't us. We're just, we're afraid of having men with guns come in here if we don't charge you this. So we have to charge this to you. Here you go.
I'm always amazed at just the masses and how ignorant they tend to be about the amount of tax that they're paying.
Sure. Well, they're hidden.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And I can't tell you how many customers I've had to talk to and explain to them, especially this is mostly in Europe, but it's not just Europe, but mainly Europe. The reason that they're paying twice as much for everything,
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand that there's a tax. There's a 20% hidden tax. And then there's taxes on everything else. So
you're
your
talking about the VAT
costs go up.
tax in Europe?
Yeah. But the whole point is that I have to explain
you have to
them.
collect that?
Yeah. So
that's because you have European shipping locations?
Well, within Europe, yes. So so there's a 20 to 25% tax in Europe, basically. Okay,
at
everything,
every level,
and they don't
right?
They don't advertise it. The tax, it's part of the product itself. So they don't like in the United States they put maybe 7% at the bottom if you're
right.
They advertise there's 7% tax. They don't do that in Europe. So
the VAT's included in the cost.
Yeah, it's usually included in the
right because it's not a retail tax. It's value added. So at every level it gets added.
But it doesn't also get added at retail? I thought it got added at like manufacturing, at wholesale, and at retail.
Yeah, the way it works is it gets added at each step of the way, but then you get to deduct that from the tax that you pay, basically, or something along those lines. And so
who deducts it? The seller?
Each level it gets deducted. So whatever you paid in tax upstream, you can deduct that. But then you also have to collect
from
tax.
your taxes.
Yeah, and then you have to collect the tax on whatever you sell to the next person.
God, that is confusing.
It's
very
convoluted
confusing.
and confusing.
Very
There's just a little
convoluted.
bit more on this aluminum thing. Details of the plan were not necessarily revealed, but besides the tariff, again, a 10% tariff on imported aluminum, 25% on imported steel. Yahoo Finance says if Trump follows U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross's recommendations to limit the sum of aluminum imports to 86.7% of their 2017 level, the U.S. aluminum producers will have to scramble to fill the gap. Again, U.S. aluminum producers are at the lowest level since 1951 because energy cost and labor cost have gone up, plus there's more global competition. Jim McGreevy, who's the president and CEO of the Beer Institute, says we don't see that happening in the future. The tariff
he's saying he doesn't think the aluminum manufacturers can keep up, that they can't handle the demand.
Production's been dropping for 5 straight years, and they're at the lowest level in 67 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be able to fill that gap anytime soon. He says the tariff has caused uncertainty for all users. We question whether that uncertainty in supply can be filled by plants that are not up and running and that won't be up and running for quite a while.
Right. Once you've destroyed an industry, once you've pulled that industry out, it's not coming back tomorrow. It's going to take 10 years before you can ramp that industry back up.
Well, in the meantime, get ready to pay more.
He says he hopes that he can work out an exemption with the Department of Commerce to get exemptions for aluminum cans.
Right, everybody wants their exemption.
Yeah.
The rest of you can pay more. The toll-free number is 855-450 free like freedom. If you want to talk about protectionism, are you somebody who was enamored with Trump? You feeling a little differently these days? This is Free Talk Live, Hour 2, coming up.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keenan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 2nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.44 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,076. Antiwar.com reports the Iraqi parliament has passed a resolution this week thanking the U.S. and other friendly nations for their support in defeating the Islamic State, and also demanding that the Abadi government set a strict timeline for the withdrawal of all foreign troops from the country. One member of the ruling coalition insisted that parliament wasn't trying to force any specific timeline on the deal, but wanted the government to make it clear, having declared victory, when the foreign troops would be gone. That's potentially going to be a problem, though, because while other nations are all making clear their trip presence is very temporary, the U.S. has been very public from the start that this is a permanent deployment and they don't plan to ever leave. That potentially brings another showdown between U.S. leadership and the Iraqi government, as with the one after the previous U.S. occupation, in which the U.S. failed to get a status of forces agreement and ultimately withdrew. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Georgia lawmakers passed a tax overhaul bill Thursday after cutting a tax exemption that would benefit Delta Airlines. House Bill 918, which included the first income tax in state history, passed Georgia's Senate by a vote of 44-10 and its House by a vote of 135-24. Republican House Speaker David Ralston said, "What is important is not that tax break anymore, but that Georgians are going to get their tax relief, and we couldn't let that fall victim to everything that was going on with Delta." Georgia's Senate Rules Committee voted to strike a part of the bill that would have eliminated the state's tax on jet fuels, resulting in a $50 million tax break for Delta Airlines after the company decided to cut a discount program for the National Rifle Association members. After Delta's decision, Republican Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle said he would kill any legislation benefiting Delta. Governor Nathan Dill supported the jet fuel tax break, but said he would sign the bill without it, as he could not veto a measure that also amounted to a sweeping tax cut for residents. Republican candidate for governor, Senator Michael Williams, commended his fellow lawmakers as they stood strong against pressure to allow the jet fuel tax break to pass. Democrats, including Senator Steve Hinson, argued cutting the tax break would make it difficult for Delta to compete with other airlines and possibly hinder the state's ability to attract other businesses. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a former New York City police official on Thursday pled guilty to misusing police department resources for the benefit of a businessman charged in a wide-ranging corruption case. Former Deputy Chief Michael Harrington entered his plea before U.S. District Judge Gregory Woods in Manhattan, admitting that he used his position to bestow favors on Jeremy Reichberg. Prosecutors have said the favors included giving Reichberg police escorts and allowing Reichberg and his associates to use a police helicopter and a police boat for private purposes. Harrington was originally charged in June 2016 with bribery, but prosecutors have agreed to drop that charge. Michael Weinstein, Harrington's lawyer, said Mr. Harrington is a highly decorated police officer who put his life on the line for 30 years while serving the citizens of New York City. Weinstein said the charge to which Harrington pled guilty was a horse of a different color from the original, more serious case. Under the terms of the plea, Harrington and prosecutors have agreed that federal guidelines call for a sentence of up to 6 months in prison. Reichberg is expected to face trial on federal bribery charges in April, along with another former police officer, former Deputy Inspector James Grant. The charges against Harrington, Reichberg, and Grant came out of a widespread federal corruption probe that also ensnared Norman Seabrook, former head of the union representing the city's corrections officers. A judge declared a mistrial in Seabrook's trial last year after the jury failed to reach a verdict, and prosecutors have said they expect to try Seabrook again. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's The Onion Radio News. A crazy man announces plans to stand in a doorway and yell at cars. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Dennis Fife, an Alhambra, California crazy man, held a press conference today to announce his intention to stand in the doorway of the office building at 2600 Kenilworth Avenue and yell at cars all day.
At approximately 9:30 a.m. on the day in question, shortly after I finish lunging at dogs, I will proceed to the front steps of the Simmons building and yell loudly for 9 hours. The screaming will be broken by a 15-minute fit of rigid catatonia, most likely in the late afternoon.
Among the topics Fife plans to address during his 9-hour rant: the ace of diamonds, bookshelves, the man trying to kill him, plastic bags in trees, Trapper John M.D., and papers everywhere. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here and take control of the airwaves at 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is lrn.fm. And joining you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
We're talked about the Trump tariff proposals, which are terrible and are going to do economic damage to the people in the United States, while at the same time making the Trump supporters feel like he's doing something for them. Because that, of course, is the illusion of protectionism, is that, oh, we're going to protect you American businesses from those international competitors, which, of course, means that even if the American businesses get a little bit more revenue, everybody ends up getting hurt because we don't have a global choice. We don't have robust competition. We don't have prices trending downwards. Instead, they go up when protectionism comes into play. You disagree? You want to comment? You're certainly welcome to. 855-450, free like freedom, or Skype in at Skype username lrn.fm, and you can call us on the Discord on-air call-in line at discord.lrn.fm. But in other news, Chris, you've got a bevy of stories tonight. It was hard to choose which ones you wanted to share, but let's start with one that threatens freedom of speech, because that's pretty important.
Yeah, so...
Where's the story from, by the way?
All right, so the story is from trust.org.
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 All right.
U.S. House passes bill. So the title is U.S. House passes bill to penalize websites for sex trafficking. So it comes off,
websites should not sex traffic.
Yeah,
I
mean,
agree.
It seems
sex
like it's not a good thing. Nobody is supporting it, right? So
sex trafficking
should be easy to pass.
Generally means people who are being trafficked as slaves, right? That's what we're talking about here?
Theoretically. Yeah. I mean, they've brought in that word to mean basically any kind of sex work, but...
Well, if it's any kind of sex work, then that's different.
Right, but see, what happens, the local police and the prosecutors convince the woman that she's not actually doing it of her own volition.
Do sex professionals actually get convinced of that, though? I mean, I can't believe that.
If they're going to make a buck off of it, sure.
Well, you don't make a buck off of this. This is when they're arresting you, right, Darryl?
Right. Well, I don't know if they do it during the arrest, but definitely during the prosecution phase of, hey, if you just tell us that you're not actually doing this because you want to, and the
pimp is making
turn
you do
somebody.
It.
But the thing is, not everybody has a pimp. A very small percentage of prostitutes actually have pimps. So it's basically a way to, hey, we'll go easy on you, because it's a defense in the law that if you're forced into it, then you don't actually wind up getting charged. You just have to turn over the person that is forcing you into this.
And then, of course, that makes it look like more people are being forced into...
I wonder how many victims, as a result, end up because of the way they do things. Like people who weren't actually pimps being accused of being pimps. So that,
good question.
Sex
work that's something that an actual sex worker could probably wind up having some statistics on that.
But we've sat in the hearings.
Well, right. There was the hearing about a week and a half ago to create a committee to study it originally.
Sex work, right?
That was the original title. It was amended to just look at sex work in New Hampshire. And there were sizable number of people that came out in support of the bill to create the committee. And then there were also a sizable number of prudes that showed up claiming that if you decriminalize this, then everybody's going to be forced into being a prostitute and blah, blah, blah. And then I noticed there was one of the senators, I forget which one, doesn't really matter, but he would ask a few of the people, so if we wind up decriminalizing this, would you encourage your daughter to become a prostitute? Is this something that you would want her to do? And I'm sitting in the back of the room thinking, I wouldn't encourage somebody to become a fry cook at McDonald's, but it doesn't mean I think that fry cooks at McDonald's should go to jail for being fry cooks.
Did they take a vote on that day, or was this just a hearing for?
That was just a hearing. Okay. I don't believe they've had the exec session. It had already passed the House.
Good.
And had gone into the Senate. And
These
then there
people
were people just completely misunderstanding what the bill even did.
Sure.
So it was to create a legislative committee, meaning 3 members of the House, 2 members of the Senate,
Right.
and then there was a list of we would like to solicit input from, including but not limited to the following. And then they had a list of entities to seek input from. And then it said, and other people or groups that might have knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were people say, well, the creation of this committee and who's the members, it's very biased. Well, no, the members of
It's
the
usually
committee
biased.
are 3 state reps and 2 state senators. That is the creation of the committee.
But
that
a lot of times, who else they invite is biased, right? So, like, if they're looking at decriminalizing cannabis, they stack it with a bunch of cops.
Well, you're talking about the commissions that they create.
Oh.
This is a legislative committee.
There's a difference.
3 state reps, 2 state senators. A commission is
So what's
a
the
couple
difference
of
between the two?
Commission is a couple of state reps, couple of senators, and other members. And then those other members get to vote on what recommendation the commission has.
But a committee doesn't have other members, is what you're saying.
Correct. The Commission to Study Cryptocurrency Laws has people other than state reps and state senators.
Right.
It has a representative of the Bitcoin industry in New Hampshire.
That's right.
That person, when he shows up to hearings, has the same say as the chair of the committee.
Okay.
A committee made
commission.
up. Commission. Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
A committee that has 5 members, 3 of whom are state reps, 2 of whom are state senators. Those are the only people that get a say on what the committee recommends.
Got it.
Everybody else is just somebody with an opinion.
Right.
I could show up, and if they decide, well, our thing does say we'll get input from other people that might have knowledge. Darryl, you might have some knowledge. I could talk, but I don't get a say on what recommendation they make.
Okay.
So in the case of sex trafficking, I didn't sit in that recent hearing that you're talking about because I think I was out of town. But
the full audio I did pull from the Senate because the Senate actually records their committee hearings.
Mm-hmm.
I've pulled that and slapped it up on my Liberty Lobby YouTube channel.
Is it linked to from libertylobby.info or just on the YouTube?
Well, there's the player on the channel. Or on the website.
But what I was going to say was, having been to other hearings about decriminalization of sex work, they frequently will have like professional sex workers come in there and
there were several
and speak. And one of the things that they've told these committees is that, hey, all of this talk about sex trafficking is a bunch of BS. Everybody in our industry, with the exception of, maybe less than 1% of people who are actually coerced, everybody in our industry is there because they want to be there, because it's good money that they can make in this business as long as they've got the ability to, it's not easy, right? Like you're dealing with some weird dudes, I imagine, a lot of the time.
Well, not only that, but currently if, let's say you are a prostitute and you have a client and that client beats you.
Sure.
Like
in the black market, those things happen.
Beats the living crap out of you. You cannot go to the cops and say, I just got my ass whooped.
You can't. Or you get arrested.
Because then you get arrested.
Right.
But it's for your own good. That's the response
it's
that the
same
cops
sort
will
of
tell
thing,
you.
Right.
Same sort of thing. If you get ripped off on a drug deal, you can't go to the cops and say, hey, Mr. Police Guy, I thought I was buying half an ounce of weed, but I only got a quarter ounce. Can you go find the drug dealer and charge him with theft?
Yeah. So the professionals say that in their business, they don't know anybody who's been sex trafficked.
Right.
And if they did know somebody who was sex trafficked, they would try to help that person get out of that situation.
Right. And also, there's all kinds of other things. Even if, let's say you're not the victim, but you know somebody is, you still can't go to the cops because then you'll wind up being exploited by the cops.
All right, so there's more coming up. We haven't even gotten into what the proposal is. There's some sort of proposed law to supposedly stop sex trafficking on the internet. We'll see exactly how far-reaching this is because I haven't heard anything about it yet. So you'll tell us about it coming up, Chris. And our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, maybe you are a professional sex worker or maybe you're just a client. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want, and this is Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. at Skype username LRN.FM. And you can join us on our Discord at discord.lrn.FM. So feel free to connect with us and other Free Talk Live listeners there. They're chatting in there throughout the show, before, during, and after. And also want to let you know about liberty.menu, which is something that libertarians, liberty-minded voluntarists, and liberty-loving anarchists have been asking for a long time, which is a website that actually catalogs and lists and maps where businesses are that are run by libertarians, that are run by people who actually understand what freedom is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. That's what liberty.menu is all about. If you love freedom and you want to patronize other freedom-loving people's businesses, which seems like a no-brainer, you finally now have the website that can give you the information of, well, who in my area or who in the area in which I'm going to be visiting is a liberty-oriented business. Because if you've got to choose between somebody who you don't know what their politics are, or somebody who you absolutely know is a statist, a Democrat or Republican, Trump supporter or whoever, and somebody who you know is a libertarian, and they all offer the same product at a similar price range, it's a no-brainer. You want to go with the person who is ideologically compatible with you. Keep the money within the Liberty community. And Liberty.menu allows you to not only find out who's nearby you, but also if you are a business owner, you can add your business to the map over there at liberty.menu. In fact, you can add more than one, and you can do it all for free. So there's no reason to not do this. Free business listings, free event listings even.
Yep.
We were talking about the Bitcoin Institute of Technology, which apparently just started up here in New Hampshire. They could go and list their events on liberty.menu. I don't know if they have, but they could do that if they wanted to. You can also list digital media as well. So I've put Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, the movie that I produced several years ago. That is up there as well. So it's a really interesting site that allows anybody who wants to, who loves freedom. You do have to be a liberty-minded person to use the site, to add your business to the site. It's also a bit of a social networking aspect, meaning you can leave comments. There's even like a friending system in there as well. If you want to use that, you are welcome to.
Plus ratings and reviews of the event and businesses.
Right. So for people who have actually used the business, they can go and rate their experience there. So really, it's got everything that it needs to have. We've been looking at these things for years, and they've always been lackluster. This is the best site, and it's got a really easy to remember URL. Liberty.menu. As we continue here, Chris, you were telling us, or barely even scratching the surface.
I haven't even gotten
on a
to the
story
article,
here.
really.
Yeah, we ended up talking about sex trafficking because people in certain places want to make it sound as though any sex work is sex trafficked, meaning that there are slaves, that every prostitute's a slave to a pimp, that every person in sex work is there against their will, which is the most ridiculous thing. And if you talk to people who are actual sex workers, they will tell you that's ridiculous, it's insane, and people get into this business. Even though it's illegal to do a lot of sex work, they get into it because it's a field where there's a high level of demand. They call it the oldest profession for a reason. And anyway, let's go on with the story. What are they proposing to do now?
All right.
This is national? This is the
U.S.
national
Congress.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Senate and the New Hampshire. No, Senate and the House.
Okay.
Not New Hampshire. Sorry. The
U.S. Congress.
Yeah, U.S. Congress. All right. So the legislation will make, and I just want to start off. This just comes off to me as totally biased, like everything about this article. So
the journalism,
the journalism and how everything is worded,
Sure.
and the lack of information, and just everything. The legislation will make it easier to sue social media networks, advertisers, and others that fail to keep exploitive material off their platforms.
To sue them?
Yep.
Okay.
To sue them. So right now, basically, you've got certain protections under the DMCA is one of them, but also there's another one. Let me continue, and you'll hear about it. The U.S. House of Representatives on Tuesday overwhelmingly passed legislation to make it easier to penalize operators of websites that facilitate online sex trafficking, chipping away at the bedrock legal shield for the technology industry. Now, This is interesting because what they're talking about is they're not talking about websites that are specifically designed for the purpose of sex trafficking. They're talking about general purpose websites like Craigslist, and eBay, or any kind of website or Facebook, for example.
A website where the platform is so large that there's no way that there can be individual, I guess, looking at the sort of review of the various different things that are posted on it. If there had to be a human being that approved every single posting on Craigslist, it would slow the site way down. It would be
the excuse is that the platforms are so large, but the reality is a small platform is not going to be able to do what this law is now requiring. So anyway, so let me continue. The bill's passage marks one of the most concrete actions in recent years from U.S. Congress to tighten regulation on of internet firms, which have drawn heavy scrutiny from lawmakers in both parties over the past year due to an array of concerns regarding the size and influence of their platforms. The House passed, so they're talking about like Russia, for example, with then manipulation, so to speak, like advertising platforms, and I think Facebook, as an example.
What happened with Russia and Facebook?
Oh, they posted some, allegedly bought some advertisements, and I saw screenshots, and they were basically like horribly drawn cartoons that allegedly influenced the presidential election. Allegedly, maybe, possibly.
Yeah. So what?
13
That's my attitude on it too.
Federal law says that foreign nationals are not allowed to electioneer, which means to do something to influence
the problem
an election.
with that, though, is these people aren't in the United States, so they don't have to abide U.S. law.
If somebody
U.S. law applies wherever the hell the FBI wants U.S. law to apply. That's the problem.
I mean, that's the reality of it, but it's not how things are supposed to be.
Are they claiming that it's illegal? Just to be clear, are you saying that they are saying that it's illegal for somebody who's in Great Britain to post on Facebook that they think people should vote against Trump?
Yes.
It could be interpreted that way.
Or buy an advertisement to say, I don't like Trump, you shouldn't vote for him?
Yep.
That's
would
illegal?
definitely fit within what their definition of the thing is. And
they're
also,
saying Facebook's liable for that?
Yeah, well, they're trying to penalize
they're saying
them.
that
because the individual's not liable. They don't live here.
No, the people are liable. And there were 13 Russians that were charged. Now, whether or not they'll ever actually be brought to the United States to go to court is a completely different question.
Wow.
But these people used names and addresses in the U.S. to make it appear as though they were not foreign nationals when they purchased the advertising.
I see.
And because Facebook allowed these people using names and addresses in the U.S. and
So
didn't
they
actually
fooled
wind
Facebook.
up. Right. Facebook got tricked.
They got on a VPN. They made it look like they were in the United States. They got a U.S. credit card or something like that, and they ordered advertisements from Facebook, making Facebook believe that they were legitimate political advertisements from U.S. citizens. There's more to come here. We don't even really know what the proposed law is going to do yet here. We'll get into it here. They claim it's going to stop sex trafficking on the internet. Sure.
Not likely.
All right, so we'll tell you more about it. 855, 450, free like freedom, and then a crackdown on a marijuana grower in one of the legal states. This is Free Talk Live.
Ruh-roh.
Has your body ever gone low blood sugar, feeling weak, shaky, knowing you better eat something fast? We all know high blood sugar can lead to many metabolic problems. At GCNteam.com, we have a healthy blood sugar pack, focusing on the structure and function of stable blood sugar. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Nothing feels worse than unstable blood sugar. Call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com. A team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here and take control of the airwaves. You can bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Will website operators become more legally responsible for the content that other people post on their sites? We've already seen disturbing court cases that have suggested this is possibly in the future, where they've tried to already do prosecutions against people like, well, Ross Ulbricht. And
they didn't try, they did.
They succeeded in his case. There was another case, though, where they ended up dropping the charges. I think it was in California.
Backpage, but Backpage won again and again and again, and that's why this whole law is.
Right.
But didn't the operators of Rent Boy wind up going to prison?
I forget what happened with the Rent Boy situation, but yeah, there have been a few different cases where
they probably pleaded guilty in order to
I don't remember.
Not have to fight it in court because they were afraid
it's
they were going to
best we not speculate on that case, because there have been a few different stories like this, and they have suggested that the government really, really wants to go after people who run a website where anybody can post basically whatever it is that they want to. And we'll talk about that. And also do want to let you know about Blink Home Security Systems, which you can go and get yours over at blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's /FTL like Free Talk Live. And it couldn't get any easier to have a home security system, because this one you purchase, it shows up, you unbox it, you put the batteries in the wireless cameras, and the batteries are included, and then you just set those cameras up wherever you want. You configure it all via a Wi-Fi enabled device like a tablet or a smartphone, and it really is super fast to get these things rolling and get them configured, and then get notices sent to your phone or wherever it is that you are. You can find out what's happening at your house or maybe your small office. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. You'll get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys might charge you for 1 wired camera. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. All right, so
So I did find out the guy, Jeffrey Harant, who was running Rent Boy, did wind up taking a plea.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Pled guilty in October of last year to charges of promoting prostitution in connection with operating the site Rent Boy, which he founded in 1997.
Because now no males are doing prostitution now that Rent Boy has been shut down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's ask Starchild.
That's a libertarian activist from the West Coast.
Yes.
In California. All right, so let's pick up the story. Where were we?
Yeah, so so actually speaking of other things that happened actually in the last week, Canada just had a ruling where it says the courts ruled that it does not protect online platforms from indexing user-generated content. So basically any comments that you might post or, torrents that you upload, not protected. The website operator is completely liable for that.
In Canada.
In Canada, yeah.
Jeez.
So this is not a U.S. specific issue, and this law basically kind of does that. And
the law known as the Allow States and Victims to Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act.
That's what this is called?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but I actually have to wonder if this is not a prelude to something similar as far as copyright is concerned, because that's another the entertainment industry is pushing that. And if they can get this passed, well,
meaning if you host a torrent on your website, that again, torrents are just files that give instructions.
Not even that, but like for example, making Google liable for the content that it indexes.
That's insane.
And then Ars Technica has an article about the much broader implications of this, saying that the bill could actually be just an all-out limit on free speech.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's continue, though.
Yeah, sure.
So the House passed the measure 388 to 25. It still needs
because who could be against sex trafficking?
Right.
I mean, or who could be in favor of it, I guess.
Actually, a surprisingly number of reps were against this, I believe, and it's only in more recent revisions that they've come on support. And I suspect the reasons actually, unfortunately I don't have the information to back that up, but I suspect the reason is because they've basically turned it into a bill to protect larger entities like Facebook, and it is now going to be utilized to hammer away at smaller entities.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. And actually, it says something to that effect as I continue. The House passed the measure 388 to 25. It still needs to pass the U.S. Senate, where similar legislation has already gained substantial support, and then
the bill in the Senate is the Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act,
signed by President Donald Trump before it can become law. Speaker Paul Ryan, in a statement before the vote, said the bill would help put an end to modern-day slavery here in the United States. Again, as Darryl was saying here just 2 minutes ago, a very small percentage of sex workers have been enslaved.
Right.
The White House issued a statement generally supportive of the bill, but said the administration remains concerned about certain provisions that it hopes can be resolved in the final legislation. Several major internet companies, including Alphabet Incorporated's
Google.
Yep.
Oh, no.
And Facebook Incorporated had been reluctant to support any congressional effort to dent what is known as Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act, a decades-old law that protects them from liability and the activities of their users. Yeah, and the DMCA also has something to that effect too. I guess the Communication Decency Act though is specific to this type of content as opposed to the DMCA.
So what you're saying is that in the Communications Decency Act, there's some sort of carve out for website operators to protect them from liability for what their users post.
Yeah, exactly.
And this bill would gut that, is the idea.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
This is horrifying.
Yeah, it is horrifying because think about it. You're liable for everything that your users. You can't afford to have.
You can't have a forum.
You can't have a forum. You can't have user comments. You can't have any of that.
Comments on the freekeen.com website.
You have to disable it.
One of those people winds up posting something bad, Ian Freeman, you could wind up going to prison.
Yep. All right. So, but facing political pressure, the internet industry slowly warmed up to a proposal that gains traction in the Senate last year and eventually endorsed it after it, page 2, gained sizable bipartisan support. Republican Senator Rob Portman, a chief architect of the Senate proposal, said in a statement he supported the House's similar version and called on the Senate to quickly pass it. The legislation is...
That's right. Pass this because it's emotional. We're going to help sex traffickers by completely restricting freedom of speech on the internet. That'll stop sex trafficking, won't it?
Yep. The legislation is a result of. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be sarcastic there. The legislation is a result of years of law enforcement lobbying for a crackdown on the online classified site Backpage.com, which is used for sex advertising. So for people who don't know, they actually started cracking down on Craigslist. Craigslist eventually gave in after years and years of fighting.
They eliminated their adult sections from Craigslist, right?
And basically what happened when they did that is they just started using other sections, and it didn't really stop it.
So the posts are still on Craigslist. You just have to go know where to look.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's
no, generally
for
posts
love
wind up going out after. Oh, you're saying you can still find. You've got to figure out the
using other
word.
sections.
Well, you've also got to figure out certain
code
words. Yeah,
code
I
words.
like roses.
Is it like that?
Yeah.
Is that one of the code words, Darryl? Is that what are you giving us?
Roses is dollars, basically. So I've actually got the text of the legislation here,
This sounds scary.
It is so effing broad.
Okay.
Under aggravated violation, whoever using a facility or means of interstate or foreign commerce or in or affecting interstate or foreign commerce owns, manages, or operates an interactive computer service as defined in section something something of the Communications Act of 1934, or conspires or attempts to do so with the intent to promote or facilitate the prostitution of another person, and promotes or facilitates the prostitution of 5 or more persons. So if 5 different people post on your website looking for love, you got roses? Question mark. Or the operator acts in reckless disregard of the fact that such conduct contributes to sex trafficking, shall be fined under this title, imprisoned for not more than 25 years or both.
So the reckless disregard meaning
either
this bans legal sex work then.
Either 5 people post on your website about, hey, I'll diddle you for money, or you're sex trafficking somebody, then you're in violation of this. So they're making the definition of sex traffic. You're allowing 5 people to post on your website looking for love. Got roses.
There's more coming up here in moments, and you can share your thoughts. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype as well. It's Skype username LRN.FM. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa, And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio waves. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username for you is lrn.fm if you want to call us there. And you can join us in the on-air call-in line room on Discord, where we actually do have somebody waiting right now. So we'll get into all of that coming up here. Your calls and thoughts certainly welcome on whatever topic you want to discuss, but I do want to let you know that the Free Talk Live AMP program is available to you. If you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, if you like us talking out against tariffs, speaking out in favor of the freedom to sell yourself if you want to, which is what we're talking about right now with sex trafficking versus prostitution, and ultimately the freedom to speak, the freedom to allow others to speak, because that's where this is going. Is the government is now talking about, apparently at the federal level, making it illegal to run a website where people who you don't know are posting things you don't know about, specifically perhaps selling sex through these different websites like Craigslist or Backpage or Facebook or whatever.
Right.
And Chris has more to tell us about that. We can share, and your thoughts are certainly welcome. Our number again, 855-450-FREE. But please join the AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com. If you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, talking about liberty, talking about peace, cryptocurrency, these are some of the things we discuss here, and we do it 7 nights a week. So if you appreciate the work that we're doing and you want to help support Free Talk Live, then do become an amplifier over at amp.freetalklive.com. We do appreciate the support. It does allow us to effectively market the show to more radio stations, to bring new stations on board and expose new people to the ideas of freedom. So you get perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast. There's an AMP-only Facebook group. There are AMP-only Discord chats now as well. So new perks available. Go get the details, and please get signed up over at amp.freetalklive.com. And if you've amped before, and you are not sure if you're still currently an amplifier, maybe you haven't, looked closely at your credit card receipts or your PayPal, the last month of transactions. Maybe you looked, but you didn't notice that the Free Talk Live AMP program was gone. Sometimes, cancellations happen, sort of auto cancellations.
Expired.
An expired credit card or something like that, and maybe you missed the email. So check your status over at freetalklive.com. Just log into your account there, and it'll tell you whether or not you're a current amplifier. I suspect there are some people out there who they don't know. They just didn't get the notice. And we had some behind-the-scenes bugs in the system, actually mostly user failure on my part, where I didn't correctly de-amp people after they had already canceled. So they weren't being billed, but I didn't do my end of things correctly. I canceled one part, but I should have canceled another part of their profile. And so even though they weren't being billed, the total amount that we were supposedly receiving that we show on the website at amp.freetalklive.com was $500 higher than what it should have been. So and this was over years of failures on my part. So I finally rectified that last month. But as a result, our AMP dollars are now at like $2,200 or $2,100 instead of what we thought they were, which was like $2,600 or $2,700 per month. So we're way down, and we didn't really realize how down we were. So we could appreciate your help over at amp.freetalklive.com if you value what we do. If it's worth the price of a cup of coffee to you, a fancy cup of coffee every single month, the price of a cheeseburger or whatever, then we sure would appreciate it. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. As we go to your calls and thoughts, we go to Skype with Mortified Penguin on the line. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, first of all, just as usual, a shout out to the LRN Discord. That's the place to be at when the show's on.
Thanks.
And my question is actually for Chris specifically, and for everybody, of course. But my question is basically about personal security and information security with while carrying a smartphone.
Are you calling from like a restaurant or something like that? It's loud.
Sounds like a pool hall.
Yes, I am. I'll mute my mic after I ask the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's just about carrying a smartphone. Is there anything that can be done on the privacy, the personal security, the information security side, or are you pretty much just screwed?
Yeah, you're screwed.
Good. Okay, yeah, that's the short
answer. Is you're screwed.
But yet you have a smartphone.
I do have a smartphone.
And you hate it. You hate the fact that you have it.
I really hate it. It's one of the reasons I have a smartphone actually is crypto, and the other is it's hard to live without a smartphone without having a means of communication. I have moved to some degree or tried to wean myself off the smartphone personally, using radios and things like that. And it works to a degree, but at the end of the day, I still got crypto. And I'm a big supporter of crypto, and if I want to promote businesses that use crypto, it's kind of hard to do it without an internet connection and a phone, some sort of smartphone. So I do still have a smartphone.
Have you done anything to mitigate security concerns that you might have with that smartphone? Is there some sort of software?
It's so utterly hopeless.
It's at the base level, right?
Okay. So I can tell you can certainly not use Google. Android. You can use a fork of it, like Cyanogen. Well, not CyanogenMod. You're saying there's a fork of Android.
You're saying that the software, the operating system for the Android phones, you can, if you know what you're doing, you can put a different software on that phone.
Yes. Yeah, and that'll remove a lot of the Google spyware and stuff that's on there. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, everywhere you go when you have any kind of cellular device, doesn't have to be a smartphone, it could be a dumb phone. You're being tracked. So,
sure. Everybody's known that for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, so really, but even the problem is with encryption on a smartphone is it doesn't work. The government ultimately has total control over the communication.
You mean like a Signal, like the Signal app that people use that Edward Snowden recommends?
It's totally futile. Anybody who's pushing Signal or any kind of application that's encryption and it's based around your phone is either ignorant or deceiving you about security.
Are you saying then that as far as using an app like Signal, that the government can just tap right in before the encryption happens?
No,
because
what they can do,
heard that the CIA could do.
So what they can do is they can remotely update the firmware, assuming that the firmware is not already bugged on the
phone.
When I'm talking about the firmware, I'm not talking about the operating system firmware. I'm talking about which is often referred to as firmware. I'm talking about the firmware that goes specifically on the modem, basically. That communicates,
that transmits.
Yeah, and the way all modern cell phones are basically designed is they can access the RAM of the device, so they can basically pop that key out, that your encryption key. So anything that you've done, whether it's you've encrypted the phone itself or you're trying to communicate using an encrypted app with somebody else, it's compromised.
So I mean,
it's compromised before it goes into the Signal application itself.
Yeah.
You're not saying that Signal is broken. You're saying that there's a disconnect between the phone itself and when it goes to Signal.
I'm not saying don't use encryption on your phone.
What I'm saying is like it. The government complains about things like like Signal and Telegram.
The reason you should use encryption on your phone has to do with the fact that ultimately it's a lot harder for them to basically connect to each phone and break the encryption. Mm-hmm. So what they're going to try and do is they're going to break it at like the backbone level, and it's not at a mass scale. It's not practical to do it. So it's still useful to encrypt your phone, and I highly encourage you to do it. And like lower level agencies like the police, the local police, they're not going to build it. Yeah.
So when you say encrypt the phone, you mean use the built-in encryption methods that Apple and Google offer for all the files on the phone, and also go ahead and encrypt your text messages just for the heck of it.
Something like Signal. I'm not really a big fan of Signal myself personally. It's been geared towards the phone, and I kind of my gut feeling is it's tainted. But again, the sources are available. There is some proprietary
But unless you compile the source, you don't really even know what's in that program, right? Unless you can check
potentially,
the hash signatures.
Potentially you don't necessarily know, but I mean theoretically, if somebody else compiles it, I mean again,
the fact is, if you've got something super secret to talk about, don't use your phone.
Definitely don't use your phone to do it.
But if you don't use things like Signal, then you're still less protected than if you do use those things. So it still is helpful to have these apps, as you say, for like the local cops. If the local cops go to the phone company and say, we want to pull all of Mortified Penguin's text messages, and the phone company says, here they are. Well, then they're all right there, completely unencrypted. It's plain text.
Right. When FedGov has gone to Signal saying, give us all of the logs that you have on this person, all Signal has ever been able to turn over is either we have no record that this person ever had an account, or we have a record that this person had an account, was created on this day, and this is the last time they logged in.
I mean, this is exactly the point that I'm trying to make. It's a good thing to actually do that because ultimately it makes it more difficult for them. But at the same time, if you're a drug kingpin, it ain't gonna work. They're gonna target you directly, and all the game's over. And it's if you had a device, you could design a device where the modem was separate, and you might not have control over it, so they'll still track you, but they wouldn't be able to access your encryption keys. But unfortunately, we don't have anything like that today.
Penguin, I hope that answers your question. I appreciate it. Hey, you enjoy your dinner there, man. Thank you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom should you wish to join us, whether it's technology or whatever is on your mind. We got a full hour to go here on Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE like freedom. Join us.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 2nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.44 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,076. Antiwar.com reports the Iraqi parliament has passed a resolution this week thanking the U.S. and other friendly nations for their support in defeating the Islamic State, and also demanding that the Abadi government set a strict timeline for the withdrawal of all foreign troops from the country. One member of the ruling coalition insisted that parliament wasn't trying to force any specific timeline on the deal, but wanted the government to make it clear, having declared victory, when the foreign troops would be gone. That's potentially going to be a problem, though, because while other nations are all making clear their presence is very temporary, the U.S. has been very public from the start that this is a permanent deployment and they don't plan to ever leave. That potentially brings another showdown between U.S. leadership and the Iraqi government, as with the one after the previous U.S. occupation, in which the U.S. failed to get a status of forces agreement and ultimately withdrew. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Georgia lawmakers passed a tax overhaul bill Thursday after cutting a tax exemption that would benefit Delta Airlines. House Bill 918, which included the first income tax in state history, passed Georgia's Senate by a vote of 44-10 and its House by a vote of 135-24. Republican House Speaker David Ralston said, "What is important is not that tax break anymore, but that Georgians are going to get their tax relief, and we couldn't let that fall victim to everything that was going on with Delta." Georgia's Senate Rules Committee voted to strike a part of the bill that would have eliminated the state's tax on jet fuels, resulting in a $50 million tax break for Delta Airlines after the company decided to cut a discount program for the National Rifle Association members. After Delta's decision, Republican Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle said he would kill any legislation benefiting Delta. Governor Nathan Deal supported the jet fuel tax break, but said he would sign the bill without it, as he could not veto a measure that also amounted to a sweeping tax cut for residents. Republican candidate for governor, Senator Michael Williams, commended his fellow lawmakers as they stood strong against pressure to allow the jet fuel tax break to pass. Democrats, including Senator Steve Hinson, argued cutting the tax break would make it difficult for Delta to compete with other airlines and possibly hinder the state's ability to attract other businesses. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a former New York City police official on Thursday pled guilty to misusing police department resources for the benefit of a businessman charged in a wide-ranging corruption case. Former Deputy Chief Michael Harrington entered his plea before U.S. District Judge Gregory Woods in Manhattan, admitting that he used his position to bestow favors on Jeremy Reichberg. Prosecutors have said the favors included giving Reichberg police escorts and allowing Reichberg and his associates to use a police helicopter and a police boat for private purposes. Harrington was originally charged in June 2016 with bribery, but prosecutors have agreed to drop that charge. Michael Weinstein, Harrington's lawyer, said Mr. Harrington is a highly decorated police officer who put his life on the line for 30 years while serving the citizens of New York City. Weinstein said the charge to which Harrington pled guilty was a horse of a different color from the original, more serious case. Under the terms of the plea, Harrington and prosecutors have agreed that federal guidelines call for a sentence of up to 6 months in prison. Reichberg is expected to face trial on federal bribery charges in April. April, along with another former police officer, former Deputy Inspector James Grant. The charges against Harrington, Reichberg, and Grant came out of a widespread federal corruption probe that also ensnared Norman Seabrook, former head of the union representing the city's corrections officers. A judge declared a mistrial in Seabrook's trial last year after the jury failed to reach a verdict, and prosecutors have said they expect to try Seabrook again. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. The nation's last remaining themeless restaurant has closed. This is Doyle Redland reporting. A once vibrant era came to an end today when Pat's Place, the nation's last themeless restaurant, closed its doors in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. During the heyday of themeless restaurants, Pat's Place achieved a certain amount of notoriety for its unique non-themed food items and unadorned atmosphere. But according to owner Patrick Baines, the times have changed.
Lately, we've had only a handful of people coming in to gawk at our posterless walls and mundanely named menu items like hamburgers or pancakes, and then they go someplace like the Rainforest Cafe or Johnny Rockets to actually eat.
Plans are now in the works to convert the Pat's Place location into Cedar Rapids' 7th Patty-O Touchdown Sports Bar and Good Time Internet Grill. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, and bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype in. Join the show at Skype username LRN.FM. We also have Discord, where our listeners are chatting throughout the show before and after. You can go and join them at discord.lrn.fm. And there's a Discord on-air call-in line, which is where we're going next. And then we may talk more, I think, about the status of free speech on the Internet. It is in peril right now, with the federal government possibly going to be passing new restrictions that will hold website operators liable, perhaps, depending on your interpretation. And likely they're going to interpret it in that way.
Absolutely will.
Yeah, for what other people post on their websites, which could basically destroy, comments. It could destroy forums. It could destroy any kind of Reddit, any kind of site that allows for users to contribute content without moderation or without, pre-moderation, basically. And
the Facebooks of the world can afford to pay people. Well, maybe not Facebook, because just that is one big forum. But certainly
Facebook relies on users to snitch on other users.
Okay, interesting.
Sure. Report this post.
Yeah, but they still may be liable under this law, because if they don't, it only requires 5 people to.
True.
Yeah, so we'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. But let's go to the on-air call-in line chat room on Discord with Gene the Christian Anarchist. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, and I'd like to encourage people to AMP as well. I'm a long-time AMPer, and I think it's a great program. I think the reason that I AMP is because I'm a one-issue voter, or one-issue talker, or one-issue everything, and that issue is liberty, and that's why I support you guys.
Thank you. We agree.
But anyway,
you sound great, by the way. I just want to say,
good.
Normally you call on the phones, and I think this is your first call on Discord, and it sounds fantastic. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I've figured it out finally.
Good.
Okay, so we're talking about all these laws that are affecting online censorship and freedom and liberty, and I'm an older guy. I'm about to be 66 of all things, and I'm still in pretty good shape. But when you get to be 66, you start thinking back. And I marched in the peace movement in the 60s. I was only 16 or 17 at the time, but I was on the streets marching to protest the war. And we used to have a reasonable amount of liberty in this country, but I don't even recognize what I'm looking at. The laws are written in such a way that they're just a series of traps. It's like trying to walk through the woods that has all of these bear traps hidden under the stuff, and no matter where you step, you're going to step
You're
in
going
one
to
of
get
those
it.
bear traps.
Yep.
And they can use that law. They might not use it. For the most part, there's so many laws and so many violators that they pretty much leave people alone.
Yeah, they pass them
thing is-
faster than we can get them, shut down by the courts.
Right,
the
but
courts don't
if they
tend to shut them
target
down at
you-
all.
Well, frequently they do, though. Not frequently
Not
they don't.
frequently.
Frequently they don't, but they frequently. Well, some of them they do. Like there was the Child Online Protection Act got shut down like several times before they kind of gave up.
Right. So if you are a person who is making waves, all they need to do to target you is just follow you around, just watch you. You're going to be violating laws, and then they'll come down on you like a ton of bricks. And the laws are all victimless laws. There's nobody that can be pointed out to as a victim. Back in when I was young, believe it or not, they actually still had a complainant. When you were violating a law, they had somebody signing as the complainant. He had to be a victim.
Yeah.
Right. Now there is no complainant. There is only the state. The state rules.
Generally, the complainant is the police officer filing the documents.
But he files it as the state. He himself is not, through their system, he is not the complaining party. He is the state. And the case is not Officer so-and-so versus Darryl. It's the state of New Hampshire
Which is
versus
absurd
Darryl.
because you're supposed to have a right to
face your accusers.
Yeah, face your
Right, and
accusers.
The
Well, they'll take the
accuser
stand.
is the police officer who takes the stand, and you can ask him questions. But yeah, Ian, you're correct. The
And they claim
official
you violated
court,
the peace and dignity of the state,
The
too.
official court document says the state v. Ian or the state v. Darryl, but the complainant is that officer.
Right. And
but
the cops
complainant
Go
is
ahead.
not a victim.
Right.
Correct. I wasn't saying that the complainant
Right.
was the victim. I'm just saying that there is someone that is legally called the complainant.
It seems like it's a presumption that the complainant is a victim, right? Like,
You're
I mean,
saying
that's
it
the
used to be
presumption,
that
or
way.
it should be.
You're saying it used to be that way, Gene.
It used to be that the complainant was the victim. They had to swear. We had something called swearing out a complaint. You would go to the police department and you would swear out a complaint, and then they would go arrest someone. That's the way it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work
now
that way
you make an
anymore.
anonymous tip to the cops, and then they go
They do what
harass
they want.
somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll
But
make
one
an
of the
arrest, maybe
things
they
I
won't.
thought was really impressed me in the 60s, and I still think about it today, was seeing the Black Panthers with their AR-15s walking around. I mean, I didn't see them specifically walking around, but I saw them on the news and stuff. The Black Panthers used to carry weapons, real weapons. But nowadays, nobody can do that. I mean, they have these people doing open carry, but for the most part, you don't see people doing that.
Well,
But
things
it was an
have changed.
interesting
There's no
time.
doubt about it.
And I don't recognize this country. I don't even know where I am anymore.
It's
And
frustrating.
It's getting more and more like China. I spend a lot of time in China. And with the internet censorship over there and what's going on over here, we're getting to be China.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any hope, Gene? I mean, what can we turn this around?
God, I would hope so. But you know what? I've been hoping for 45 years, and I'm getting kind of tired of hoping.
What are you going to do?
Move to New Hampshire and help us secede.
I don't think I don't think we're going to be able to turn this around.
20 years. What I'm going to do within 20 years is I'm going to go 6 feet under the dirt and I'm going to hide.
We're not gonna be able to turn this around. Not in our lifetime. I think it's gonna take a lifetime to turn it around. Maybe the time we're really old, we can do it in New Hampshire. But
yeah, I would
that's
love
about
to
it.
see some sort of renaissance happen where all of a sudden liberty catches fire and people care about being free. But it seems like we're so far away from that.
I will be in Keene on the March 23rd. I believe I will be in Keene, New
Cool.
Hampshire.
We'll look forward to seeing you. We're always happy to.
Then.
Cool. I look forward to it. Thanks for the call tonight, Gene. And we're always happy to get together with visitors here to the
definitely
Keene
give us
area.
a heads up. Let us know your timeline. We'll schedule a meet and greet.
Good way to do that is through the Shire Forum over at forum.shiresociety.com. Yeah, and that's also the Free Talk Live forum. So there's a Free Talk Live subforum in there. There's actually a subforum, I think, for FPP Radio as well. So there's different New Hampshire-related subforums.
Libertarian Party of New Hampshire has one.
Yep. And
that one's not very active, but it's there.
The whole forum isn't very active. It's a forum, and it competes with other things where people love to just stay, which is like Facebook. But it gives people who want an alternative a useful alternative that is really helpful. I mean, when somebody posts there and says, hey, we're coming to Keene, we get together with them. We'll bring people out. Usually we'll go to a place that accepts cryptocurrency so somebody can try to actually spend crypto.
That's very cool.
In real life, because you can't really do that in a lot of places, but you can here. And yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Darryl, and Chris. This is the best opportunity for people that want to see more freedom in their lifetime. I also tend to agree this is a multi-generational project of trying to, bring liberty about. I wish it would happen in my lifetime.
It's the rational thought, right? I mean, we're certainly gaining freedoms in some areas, I would say, here already, but we're not gonna see a free state.
We got to have way more people. We got to have way more people. It's
not
going
tomorrow,
slow.
Anyway.
It's it's hard to get people to pick up their lives and move physically to one place, even though it's the best strategy.
Right.
Even though it's a proven strategy.
It's a working strategy.
It's
That's
a
the crazy
working
thing.
strategy. We've got all the evidence to show that it works, even with only 2,000 people or so having moved up here, and some of those people have gone home.
I can't believe how much has been achieved with 2,000 people.
It's amazing. If only people would, have that level of commitment to their ideas, but they don't, and that's okay. Everybody's got their own preferences. Maybe it's their family or their career that's more important to them. Just don't expect freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com.
Florida officials announced today its plan to experiment with new 600-lever voting machines.
The machine operates through a very straightforward process that we think is going to give Floridians the peace of mind that their votes will be counted. The voter turns on the machine using these 30 levers at the top and then enters their names and social security numbers using the alphanumeric levers near the bottom here. Right about now, the voter's going to have to find the two levers on the machine that are exactly identical and pull them at the same time. Then they're going to have to...
The new 22-foot-tall steam-powered machines, which officials are hailing as, quote, the future of voting, each feature over 45 separate panels of levers, along with an intricate series of valves, knobs, cranks, and pumps, all designed to streamline the electoral process.
Now, some of this may seem confusing, but every voter will be given a comprehensive 2,200-page manual when they enter their precinct that will explain exactly what to do.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's post pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free here and bring up whatever you want to discuss. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. And we've also got Discord, which is where Gene was just on the line with us. It sounded great. You can do the same. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You can do a web version of Discord, but you can also download an app for pretty much any device you happen to have, whether it be your smartphone, tablet, or your laptop or desktop computer. It's a pretty handy program and allows you to chat with other Free Talk Live listeners. Also, want to make sure you know about SaveItPurse.com. You've got stuff you want to buy online from Amazon, perhaps. Why not go ahead and save 20% on every single purchase you make? You could save more. You could choose to save less. If for some reason you wanted to save less, you could try 15%. Like I got something at 15% off the other day just because I really wanted it quickly. So I just figured I know it's going to go fast if I put it at 15, and it did. It probably would have gone just as fast if I'd put it at 20, though, because in my experience...
23% is the ideal number.
Is that right?
Yeah,
right
I would do 23, yeah.
Because it changes as the market sort of changes.
Most of the time, 23% is going to get it pretty darn quick.
Same day.
Probably,
basically.
yeah, in the same day even.
So what you're doing is you're using SaveItPurse.com to take your Amazon wish list or Amazon individual products, and then you just decide what discount you want, and then somebody else buys that item for you, ships it to you as a gift, and then they get your Bitcoin. So the catch is you have to be willing to spend Bitcoin in order to get these deep discounts on products. But given that you can acquire Bitcoin for as cheap as 1% over Bitcoin market price from places like Coinbase, or you can pay a little bit more and go to like a Bitcoin vending machine or something like that, given that you can acquire Bitcoin for much less than 20%, you can save big time on everything that you buy. And that's what you and I both do all the time, Chris.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably the biggest spender of...
Because you're buying products for your company on
I
Amazon
do. Small stuff that we don't need a lot of. Yeah, I all the time. I mean, dozens and dozens of items a week. Well, orders a week, not even just items.
I actually just bought something on Amazon that I couldn't get on Purse. It's very rare. Very rare because...
there are some items. That's true.
The third-party sellers, sometimes you can't get... I don't think you can get a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it's got to say...
it has to be shipped by Amazon. It has to be...
Yeah, it has to say... I think I don't even think it's
fulfilled
Amazon.
by Amazon.
Well, maybe that, but I think it also has to say like free... What's the free shipping thing?
Free Super Saver shipping or Amazon Prime.
Prime, that's it.
But no, there are things without Prime that you can get through.
You can, but it's harder to get those items
because people don't want to order them.
I mean, basically what's going on is the buyer the person who buys the items for you, they want it to get to you quickly so they
want the Bitcoin quickly.
So if you do non-Purse stuff, you're much less likely to get it
That's a good point.
quickly.
But anyway, big savings are and can be yours if you go to SaveItPurse.com and get started over there. It's super easy to get signed up. Once again, that's SaveItPurse, SaveItPurse.com. We go to Golden Shores in Arizona, where Neil is on the line via Skype. He's listening to K-Talks. Go ahead, Neil.
Yes, I would like to speak to you for a moment regarding allowing teachers that choose to do so to carry arms in schools.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we have an on-air radio so-called commentator out here on one of your affiliates, KTOX 1340 AM out of Needles, California, that recently posted on Facebook that she cannot wait to see a teacher shoot a student or she
can't wait because she thinks then that will lead to gun control, or can't wait because she thinks that students need to be shot by teachers.
She doesn't think that teachers should be allowed to have weapons in schools, that they are not trustworthy. You know, and I don't think
she can't wait for that to happen, so then teachers can be prohibited from having guns. Is that the idea?
So that, and because she's a millennial, so she can be proven right, and she thinks that teachers are not trustworthy with weapons, because they will either shoot a student because they're pissed off at them, or they'll just stand there and do nothing.
Yeah. Somebody actually called to try to make that claim on the air. I think it was over the last weekend, and it's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
What do you guys think about guns in school? I mean, I don't know if it's a good idea to start having lots of people with guns, in a populated area like that, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad...
You live in New Hampshire. You know that there's people with guns in populated areas.
No. I'm not saying we should ban them or anything like that. I'm just wondering, is that...
When people say guns in schools, they're talking about one of two different things. They're either talking about simply allowing teachers to have them, or they're talking about requiring teachers to have them.
I do not believe they should be required. I think they should be allowed to if they so desire to.
Absolutely.
What about students?
I think that if the school wants to allow that, then they should allow it. I mean, back in the day, students used to walk to school with guns. They'd have rifles and things like that for shooting critters and bringing them home to the family.
Yeah, I don't necessarily object to the idea of I kind of feel like if it's going to be okay for teachers to bring guns to school, it should be across the board. Everybody should be able to.
Here's a solution. Let's get rid of government schools, and then we don't even need to have this discussion.
Well, no, but it's still a question for not having government schools. Like, what would the individual school in a marketplace's policy be? There would be some schools that would not allow students to carry guns, but there may be some where they would be allowed to carry guns.
Yeah,
just like
right.
with
And
airlines.
if you don't have government-run schools, then it's not a discussion that just some random guy on the radio is going to be asked about.
Yes, it is.
Choice.
Because even without the government, we still will have opinions about what companies do, right? Like if the government disappeared tomorrow, would we have nothing to talk about? Of course we'd have things to talk about, because people would still be corrupt, power hungry. They'd still be seeking, power over others in whatever way they possibly could. I mean, that doesn't excite me, but that's just the reality of the world that we live in. That's not going away just because we get rid of institutionalized corruption. Those people will then try to do bad businesses and things like that, and we'd have to talk about that too.
Yeah, we have. You know what I think the best? I do think that getting rid of the government schools is the best solution, because then we end up with the market competition. And I don't necessarily know that I would say that. I don't know if I really have an opinion that it would be better to have guns in school or not, but I certainly think that it would be better to at least have that choice of sending my kid to a school that it's okay to have a gun, bring a gun with them.
Right, and that's going to be something that people talk about, even in the absence of the government. There would be buzz on talk radio about a school that allowed students to bring guns in there, and some people would say that's a good idea, and others would say it's a terrible idea.
I'm just saying the policy would not be one of these broad sort of decision things, to where right now they're talking about, should it be passed at the national level? Should it be passed at state levels? It would be a business by business
individual
decision.
It seems like it would be a terrible idea. Not only it seems like a terrible idea at the national level, but even at the state level. I mean, look at New York, for example, right? Like, you got New York City, and then you have, very
the rest
rural,
of the state.
right? The rest of the state. Like, it seems like it would almost be. If you're gonna say no guns, it should be at the school level.
Neil, good call. Thanks for making it tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype as well, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM. Get on the lines, talk about whatever is on your mind here on Free Talk Live.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have Skype as well, so feel free to Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Darryl.
Don't forget, you can join us online. We've got an email list. You can get signed up for that over on the front page of the website at freetalklive.com. There is a email sign-up box right there toward the front and the top of the site. So please avail yourself of that, and we'll keep you in the loop with what's going on with Free Talk Live, usually on a once-a-week basis. You'll get that in your inbox. Once again, go to freetalklive.com to do that as we continue with your calls and thoughts. To Bad Slave, calling us from New Hampshire, also on Skype. Hello, Bad Slave.
Howdy.
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Guns in schools. I think it was a mistake to take them out. I mean, you know that in, I don't know, a recent decade or so back, they, in the 90s, right, that they banned the,
You're talking about the gun-free school zone thing passed at the national level?
Yeah, that was the 90s, I believe.
They also have a drug-free school zone, and that's working real well.
Well, the thing is that one of the things that make Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont very safe places is that, there's a bunch of people carrying guns around,
Sure
and
are.
most people are concealed carrying, and therefore people don't know that they have guns, and so you're safer that way. I mean, the fact is, the vast majority of people out there in the world are interested in being nice.
Yep.
And sometimes you can actually do a better job of being nice. I know, when I carry, I take extra effort myself.
To be nice to people?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean?
You don't want to start a fight because you'll finish it, and you don't want to be in that position if you can avoid it.
Right. You don't want to start fights. You don't want to, you've got the gun. So I mean, if something really bad comes along, you're prepared. But ultimately,
like a really stupid opponent.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you're sitting there carrying a gun, with a retention holster, and you're been trained, and you know what to do. And if you carry yourself, with proper, what they call yellow attentiveness, then you're ready. And any kind of perpetrator coming in around you knows that, and they're going to find someplace else to harass. Yeah. And the same thing goes for what might occur in schools. If I posted on Facebook recently the two different signs. The one that says, guns, are prohibited in this facility, or the one that says that some of the staff of this facility may be armed, and which sign would you rather?
If you're a crook, where do you want to go?
Or even if you're somebody who cares for safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to be happy to be in that school, aren't you? I mean, and I think that ultimately the most of, just like in the theaters in Aurora, Colorado, there were 5 or 7 theaters, and one of them had, the
no gun policy.
No gun policy, and that was the one that this guy, and it wasn't the closest one, it wasn't the biggest one, it was the one
where you're most likely to find a room full of victims. There's no doubt about it. Thank you, Bad Slave, for the call tonight. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Now, there's certainly some criminals that aren't smart enough to think about these things. They'll just, go off and rob a place.
I mean, most criminals aren't thinking about anything in terms of the law.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we can make a statement that most criminals are not doing something, but there are certainly criminals who will plot out, their plans, and who will put some thought into it.
But they're not necessarily thinking about, is this illegal?
Right, or what's the penalty, right?
But I'm talking about
they're going to
whether
plan
or not
it, but that
there's
doesn't
going
mean
to be
they don't think, it doesn't mean that they're thinking about what the penalty is going to be if they get caught.
Yeah, I'm talking about whether or not there's people with guns at the place where they're going to. Like, are you targeting a hard target location, or are you targeting a soft target? Are you going after somebody that's an easy victim, an easy mark?
Now,
are you going
will
after
say,
a jiu-jitsu master who's going to break you?
I've never heard of a gun store being robbed or a mass shooting at a gun show.
Me neither. I have actually witnessed a shooting at a gun show, however. In this case, nobody was shot, thank goodness, but a gun did go off at a gun show, and it was pretty
accidental
scary.
discharge?
Yeah, that was a scary moment.
There's definitely been gun shops that have been robbed over the years.
Have there?
Yeah.
You mean like at gunpoint, or when they've closed and somebody's broken in?
I'm not sure how they were robbed, but
stolen.
I know I've heard
there have definitely been breakings and enterings and thefts from gun shops.
Right.
But like we're gonna put a gun in the face of a gun shop owner, that's probably pretty rare.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not rare, but
you got to be high as a kite.
I mean, Darryl said he's not aware of, and I'm just saying there have been robberies, whether how they happened and whether the crook got away or not is kind of irrelevant. But yeah, it happens. It doesn't mean it happens all the time.
Let's continue here with your calls and thoughts. Robert's in Vermont, and Robert, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, we actually had a guy over in Rockingham over here that had a gun store that he was robbed, not at gunpoint, but in the middle of the night, somebody broke in. And,
see, now is that a robbery or is that a theft? Because I thought robbery has to do with an actual threat of violence in that moment, meaning that somebody with a knife or a gun or whatever.
I would think of that as a robbery.
What's the difference, though?
Well, there's theft and then there's robbery, right? So theft is where you take something that's not yours, in some cases by breaking and entering, like somebody would do at a gun store. And then there's robbery, which is to take what is not yours by the threat of force in the moment, right? Like that there's a victim right there standing there that you're threatening to.
I thought robbery had a pretty broad inclusion of anything that was service deprived.
I should know better than to challenge you, Ian.
The dictionary definition of robbery is the action of robbing a person. And then
let's define the word with the word.
Right. So then I looked up the definition of robbing, and it is the verb to take property unlawfully from a person or place by force or threat of force. So robbery does imply that there's a person that you are taking the stuff from.
So breaking in at the middle of the night when nobody's there to steal some guns is not robbery, technically.
Correct. It would be, now, the legal definition from state to state might include it under that.
Yeah. The generic definition of rob is to deprive someone of some right or something legally due, or to plunder or rifle. So, I mean, it gets...
Yeah, so that sounds like a broader definition, which is what I would think it would be.
Breaking and entering, theft... definitely would fit, you going into somebody's house at 2 o'clock in the morning while they're working night shift.
I'm pretty sure there's a term to describe breaking and entering at night that distinguishes itself from robbery.
When you actually do look at the legal definition of robbery, it is the definition that you're talking about, Darryl, where there is threat of force involved in that.
Yeah, larceny might be the term you're thinking of.
Okay,
Chris.
yeah, maybe.
Anyway, Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, anyways, I'm responding to the gentleman that called 3 or 4 calls back. He was mentioning that he did some of the marches in the 60s, and that's kind of really exciting to hear that because I'm from that era.
Well, stand by if you had something to say about it. We'll continue here in moments. The old marches, the old anti-war movement. What happened to those people? Because the anti-war movement's pretty much been dead since Obama. 855-450 free like freedom. You can join us here in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live coming up.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You gotta love the Free Talk Live Discord. We talk about on the air gun store robberies, and of course one of our chatters found a video of a gun store robbery which did not go well for the attempted robbers.
You don't say.
Dude just got blasted. And yeah, so you can check that out at discord.lrn.fm. Get into the chat room with other Free Talk Live listeners and enjoy that. And don't forget, you can also interact with us in other ways, like our forum over at forum.freetalklive.com. That's one way that you can connect with other listeners in a less immediate manner. You can post messages on topics there on the forum. It's more organized than, say, a live chat. So check that out as well over at forum.freetalklive.com. As we go back to Robert, he's calling us from Vermont. And Robert, you're back on Free Talk Live. You were calling about the 60s, the 70s, some of the protests that had gone on back then, and I don't know if you were done with your comments, so please go ahead.
Well, I was referring to what the gentleman was saying, and he had mentioned that he thought that all was lost in terms of this country, and I wanted to say that everybody knows how much of a hit Bernie Sanders made across the country, coming from nowhere. Something that I learned the other day is that his son, Levi Sanders, is running for Congress over in New Hampshire.
All right, so I've got a question. You say Bernie Sanders came from nowhere. He had been in the Senate for a really long time. That's not exactly
like a
nowhere.
couple decades or something, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he came from nowhere is what I meant. Like, in other words...
Well, he came from Vermont, and that is pretty much nowhere. I mean,
Howard Dean came from Vermont, but he made a splash in the 2004 election until he went, yeah!
Wasn't Bernie Sanders a mayor in Vermont for a while, and then he got elected to U.S.-level stuff?
Yes. Mayor of Burlington.
Yeah, he was a mayor for a long while, and then he became a United States congressman, and then he became, he's still a United States senator, so... Mm-hmm. But, like I said, I don't think maybe all is not lost if Levi Sanders, if he wins over New Hampshire.
Yeah, but that's not exciting, Robert, because Bernie Sanders is a socialist, and he believes in government, and he believes that the violent state should be used in the way that he thinks that it should be used.
And all anybody is reporting in the news about Bernie's son running for Congress is he's Bernie's son.
Yeah, does that mean that he agrees with Bernie? Does that mean that the apple has fallen far from the tree like Rand Paul and Bernie's son's actually a libertarian? Who knows?
Do socialist trees actually produce apples? That's a Venezuela joke.
From each according to their ability to, each according to their need. Robert, it's not going to get excited.
If he was a libertarian.
What now?
I said it would be interesting to find out if Levi Sanders was a libertarian.
I wouldn't expect it because, most politicians by default are not libertarians, and even the ones who claim to be libertarian aren't particularly libertarian.
Most politicians are self-interested, so whatever is going to get them elected is they're going to say.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Okay, well then maybe he might change. Who knows?
Well, I'm optimistic about people being able to change, but not so optimistic generally towards politicians at all. But regardless, thanks for bringing it to our attention. Appreciate hearing from you, Robert. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I mean, there are some things that you can say that
Go ahead.
Are worthy of note about Bernie Sanders is that he has been elected as somebody who has not run as a Democrat and a Republican. There is that.
Correct.
That's true about him.
Well, he's also cut a deal with the Democrats to where they don't run a candidate against him.
Really?
And he then caucuses with them. So he's elected as an independent, caucuses with the Democrats. He ran in the Democratic primaries in the presidential election. And apparently Levi Sanders is the 8th Democrat to throw his name into the ever-growing field of congressional candidates for the New Hampshire 1st District.
Gotcha. Let's continue here. Sarah is on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
So, they want to raise our gas, property tax, grocery receipts tax, and close down golf courses to make up for that $40 million city deficit.
Why would they want to close down golf courses? If they're raising taxes, why wouldn't they just keep the golf course open so they can keep collecting taxes from them too?
It's probably a city-run golf course.
I have no idea how the golf course is operated. I have a big question about that. But, I have a solution is that, if we get speeding bans, we could get out of the deficit by making money off of the speeders, mobile speeding units, and cameras.
If you just wind up, making everything breathing is illegal without a permit.
Tax it.
And then if you are caught breathing without a permit, you have to hand over all of the money that you have.
Sarah, you don't make money when they tax people, right? You know that, right?
No,
she makes money because she's on welfare.
Sorry, what, Sarah?
No, but you got 6 cars running the red light on the left turn. They need to pay. And you know what? We could get out of a deficit because we got so many speeders and red light violators.
You're going to pay off the deficit
that's the solution.
with red light tickets.
Well, yeah. Why are they paying it out of gas? and grocery C-Stash that buy things.
They're not paying the deficit out of gas taxes. So you're talking about kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm just confused about what you're saying, but the government at the federal level is not taking red light tickets from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and using that to pay off anything.
No, I think she's talking about the Albuquerque city deficit,
Are you
or
talking
the
about that?
Albuquerque city debt.
Yeah, it's just within our city limit, just Albuquerque. I don't know how it happened. And the golf course thing
the
is that
way it happens is at some point the city council authorized more spending than they had revenue. That's how debts happen.
Deficits happen.
And the city of Albuquerque operates 4 golf courses.
Like every... Okay, yeah, they need to stop that. But yeah, like every city, they don't spend wisely. They can spend as much as they want for the most part because they can always just raise taxes the next year. And this is true of every place in the United States and around the world where government bureaucrats, when you spend other people's money, you don't do as good of a job as the people whose money you've taken would have done at spending their money. If you guys tell me you want me to spend your money for you, at the very least, we're connected and you can give me some sort of signals on how you would like your money spent. But even in that circumstance, I'm not going to do as good of a job as you would do spending your own money. And the government's even further removed in that they don't care what you think about how they're going to spend your money. They just spend it however that they want to do it, and they take as much as they want. So
they're also, and there have been studies to show this, that when you're spending money on other people, for the most part, people tend to be a little more generous when they're buying gifts for others than when they're spending money on themselves.
Right.
So if I'm spending your money, Ian, to buy Chris a present, well, I'm going to be a little more generous because it's not my money and it's not going for me.
Exactly.
Wasted. It gets wasted.
And then you factor in also the fact that governments, when they're spending money, are also doing it based on nepotism. And they're doing it based on favoritism and their buddies, the good old boy network. So they have an incentive to, not only do they have, no disincentives to stop spending and going crazy with, spending other people's money, but they also have perverse incentives to spend more because they enrich their buddies. They help their friends in industry. Oh, here's a construction contract at 10 times the normal rates.
I've seen that happen.
Right, because you've had governments buy from you.
Yeah,
right?
I won't go into the details, but yeah, I could definitely say I got some of my money back that I paid in taxes.
Good. Well, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would never come down on somebody for that.
Well, wait a minute. You don't want the government taking the taxes in the first place, though, right?
No, of course not.
Okay.
But if you have the ability to get a deal from, if the government comes in and says we want to buy a bunch of routers from you, and you say, all right, that'll be 2 times the normal rate. And you then get twice your normal rate on routers.
Yeah, just to be clear, I didn't make any illegal actions here in charging the government twice the.
Would that be illegal?
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, because isn't that what happens all the time, where companies charge the government way more
yes,
than?
Yes, it does happen all the
are?
time, actually. But yeah, in this case,
it's a special rate just for you guys.
Yeah, in this case, we did well, but it was mostly because of government stupidity and nothing I did intentionally to deceive or to
All right, so there you go. Thanks for the call, Sarah. I guess I appreciate it. Anyway, don't forget to check out Chris's website. He's over at thinkpenguin.com if you do want to get privacy-oriented computer devices like desktops and laptops and routers that actually have, in the case of one of your routers, VPN built right in at the core of the router.
Yep.
Very, very cool stuff. You ought to go check out thinkpenguin.com. And yes, you can pay with Bitcoin.
Yep.
And others. Or just Bitcoin, right?
Yes, you can if you email us, but we're working on adding a lot more.
Well, are you doing BitPay? What are you using?
Yeah, we're doing BitPay.
Which means they're going to roll out Bitcoin Cash very soon.
They'll take Bitcoin Cash directly.
See you tomorrow, freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edginton Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The Torchwood Report is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 2nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.44 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $11,076. Antiwar.com reports the Iraqi parliament has passed a resolution this week thanking the U.S. and other friendly nations for their support in defeating the Islamic State, and also demanding that the Abadi government set a strict timeline for the withdrawal of all foreign troops from the country. One member of the ruling coalition insisted that parliament wasn't trying to force any specific timeline on the deal, but wanted the government to make it clear, having declared victory, when the foreign troops would be gone. That's potentially going to be a problem, though, because while other nations are all making clear their presence is very temporary, the U.S. has been very public from the start that this is a permanent deployment and they don't plan to ever leave. That potentially brings another showdown between U.S. leadership and the Iraqi government, as with the one after the previous U.S. occupation, in which the U.S. failed to get a status of forces agreement and ultimately withdrew. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Georgia lawmakers passed a tax overhaul bill Thursday after cutting a tax exemption that would benefit Delta Airlines. House Bill 918, which included the first income tax in state history, passed Georgia's Senate by a vote of 44-10 and its House by a vote of 135-24. Republican House Speaker David Ralston said, "What is important is not that tax break anymore, but that Georgians are going to get their tax relief, and we couldn't let that fall victim to everything that was going on with Delta." Georgia's Senate Rules Committee voted to strike a part of the bill that would have eliminated the state's tax on jet fuels, resulting in a $50 million tax break for Delta Airlines after the company decided to cut a discount program for the National Rifle Association members. After Delta's decision, Republican Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle said he would kill any legislation benefiting Delta. Governor Nathan Dill supported the jet fuel tax break, but said he would sign the bill without it, as he could not veto a measure that also amounted to a sweeping tax cut for residents. Republican candidate for governor, Senator Michael Williams, commended his fellow lawmakers as they stood strong against pressure to allow the jet fuel tax break to pass. Democrats, including Senator Steve Henson, argued cutting the tax break would make it difficult for Delta to compete with other airlines and possibly hinder the state's ability to attract other businesses. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a former New York City police official on Thursday pled guilty to misusing police department resources for the benefit of a businessman charged in a wide-ranging corruption case. Former Deputy Chief Michael Harrington entered his plea before U.S. District Judge Gregory Woods in Manhattan, admitting that he used his position to bestow favors on Jeremy Reichberg. Prosecutors have said the favors included giving Reichberg police escorts and allowing Reichberg and his associates to use a police helicopter and a police boat for private purposes. Harrington was originally charged in June 2016 with bribery, but prosecutors have agreed to drop that charge. Michael Weinstein, Harrington's lawyer, said Mr. Harrington is a highly decorated police officer who put his life on the line for 30 years while serving the citizens of New York City. Weinstein said the charge to which Harrington pled guilty was a horse of a different color from the original, more serious case. Under the terms of the plea, Harrington and prosecutors have agreed that federal guidelines call for a sentence of up to 6 months in prison. Reichberg is expected to face trial on federal bribery charges in April, along with another former police officer, former Deputy Inspector James Grant. The charges against Harrington, Reichberg, and Grant came out of a widespread federal corruption probe that also ensnared Norman Seabrook, former head of the union representing the city's corrections officers. A judge declared a mistrial in Seabrook's trial last year after the jury failed to reach a verdict, and prosecutors have said they expect to try Seabrook again. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
At Greyhound, we're committed to providing our customers with an exceptional travel experience, and that's why we've outfitted our 2014 line of motor coaches with new deluxe roadway seating that's moderately less disgusting than our traditional fare tickets. For a flat surcharge of $35, customers can upgrade to our exclusive deluxe seating area, where select seats have been refurbished with premium upholstery, boasting significantly less crumbs and Wendy's bags stuffed between the seats, guaranteed to leave you somewhat less repulsed than you are normally. Relax in the comfort that when your feet stick to the floor, they'll be sticking to up to 65% less indeterminate dried fluids. Passengers who upgrade to our elite seating experience will have the option of personalizing the garbage surrounding their seat with a pre-ride selection process, as well as a priority boarding feature where they'll be able to settle into their high-end motor coach accommodations without having to navigate through a crowd of inebriates, ex-convicts, and the morbidly obese. And from all of us at Greyhound, happy travels.
This is the Onion News Network.
About something that may be restricting freedom of speech beyond its original intentions. Not that any kind of restriction on freedom of speech is okay. We'll tell you about that coming up here. It's Ian, Chris, and Darryl in the studio here tonight. But Darryl, we're going to start with you. Earlier today, you shared with me in the studio some fresh quotes from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And these aren't on, this isn't, I mean, it's 1 week. You get a bunch of ridiculous quotes from this guy. Earlier this week, he had said famously that he would have run into the active shooter situation even if he didn't have a weapon.
He said he would like to think that he would.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to think that I would go in there He didn't actually say, I would go in there.
I see what you're saying, but the intention is to make people think that he's more brave than the police
Correct.
officers.
And then
who
somebody
did not
posted
go in.
a photo of him walking up a flight of stairs, presumably to Air Force One. He's got an umbrella. His son is standing behind him. And it says he won't take a raindrop for his son, but he'll take a bullet for yours.
Right. So, I mean, that was pretty ridiculous earlier this week, but the madness continues.
And then earlier today, when a country, USA, is losing many billions of dollars on trade with virtually every country it does business with.
Wait.
Trade wars are good and easy to win. Example, when we're down 100 billion and a certain country and they get cute, don't trade anymore, we win big. It's easy.
There's a lot of stupid within that.
And here's the other one.
Or whatever it is. Is this Twitter?
Yes.
This is a Twitter post?
When a country taxes our products coming in at, say, 50%, and we tax the same products coming into our country at 0, not fair or smart, we will soon be starting reciprocal taxes so that we will charge the same thing as they charge us. 800 billion trade deficit, have no choice. So this trade deficit thing.
This is such hogwash.
Earlier today, I had a $12 trade deficit with Target. Meaning I went to Target and I bought $12 worth of stuff. Target has never purchased anything for me. I have a trade deficit with Target.
Oh no, Darryl. Whatever shall you do?
Import duties? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so you're
That's
talking
the thing
about this.
that people don't